Have you tried to use that tablet dropper? I didn't understand if you did, because one of my cats had to say, "Oh,
I'm bringing it up. Okay, so welcome to the session number 72 of our D&D game. And that was a part of a discussion about how to give tablets to cats, where Clarissa was giving us some information on using a dropper. Do you want to pipe in now?
Where do you get those droppers from?
I think I got the vet. I'll take a photo and I'll check for you and I'll let you know.
That would be super
cool.
cool.
My cats take medication every day.
Yeah, it's going to look like he's going to need it every day for anxiety, so if I can not make him so anxious, you know, the irony.
So 4 years of that.
We might have one we're not using much anymore.
Oh, that'd be really cool too, because he gets really stressed. You're trying to force something down his throat, and you're like, this is to make you less stressed, but now I've made you more stressed.
Yeah. A good thing as well is actually to only do just before you're going to feed them. Like they're not...
We've been doing that. We've been using the GOODBOY treat to give it to him.
Yeah. Yes. So they doesn't have time to feed anything. Like you'd be so worried about eating.
Yeah. Well, that was working with the half tablets, but it doesn't work with the capsules. So pill dropper it is, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Back to game.
It's okay, and you've got a visitor.
He says hello. Hello. What you doing? Oh.
Trying to attract more head pats.
Okay, so tonight we are continuing the Tree of Life storyline. With the characters off at the second civilization of the elves, having discovered that the Tree of Life originated here, and still with many mysteries about the tree to uncover.
Yes.
Where is it?
That's one of them.
I was going, would the primary mystery be figuring out where it is?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the second mystery is how to fix it.
The third mystery is, where are the Shadow Elves and why?
Well, the Shadow Elves aren't part of the second Elven realm. They had nothing to do with it.
They're first realm.
Yes, they are the first realm.
Yes.
Oh,
and they're around somewhere.
Sorry to displace
and there's a good chance that they won't like me.
Or they will indoctrinate you into their beliefs.
Same thing. Because if they like me, they won't do that.
You're a shadow?
What? No.
No. I got confused.
I'm a sun elf. I'm a dark aspected sun elf.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
And it turns out he does have Shadow Elf heritage.
Yeah, in his heritage. That's right.
Yeah.
I remembered something from one of the previous games.
Nice. But I'm not actually a shadow elf.
Yeah.
I just have.
Yeah.
You never grew up a Shadow Elf.
Kind of like
I
I'm not
I
actually.
didn't go after the culture. I'm also not by main blood.
You don't know that.
Well,
that's the thing.
It's the same thing as I'm not actually a Russian royalty, but my great-granddad bought himself a princeship in what was considered White Russia then, and that made my Busia technically a princess. But it's all paperwork, not actual lineage.
Yes. This is sort of all of my ancestors going back, however, are all sun elves of various hair colours.
As far as you know.
As far as we all know.
Yeah.
It is mildly possible I might be significantly shadow elf. Not that it actually matters very much. An elf's an elf. An elf is an elf for most things.
Quick question.
Yep.
What session are we up to? Did I make it last session or was it
session
6?
72.
You were here last session.
Yeah, and I've been
72.
sick though, so I've missed a few sessions in and out.
It is session 72.
Thank you.
Last session had you finished the campaign against the encampment.
Oh, the were-tiger.
The were-tiger. who you're sure was a were-tiger, but you didn't actually see him change.
So in that 2 seconds, I forgot which number the section was.
72.
Thank you.
And the current game date is the 16th of the 9th month, 1007.
That's going to confuse me at one stage when I look this up later, and I'm like, how is it 1007 instead of 2022?
On the bright side, at least you know your level is always the end number of the year plus 1.
Once we got past the 2 year.
Once you got past the introduction story.
Yes.
So then I standardized everything to a year per level.
Yes.
I intended that up front, but I was a little...
It got a bit interesting.
Yeah.
Just quickly for introductions. Sorry, Clarissa, can you spell your character's name for me again?
It's got letters in it.
N for Navy.
Yep.
A-R-Y-E.
Y-E.
And I've actually got it right online.
Yep.
You have.
No, I saw it and then I forgot it and I didn't want to kind of touch the phone again.
It's all good because it's just amusing how often I get those things wrong. Jeremy knows that.
I wrote it wrong last time and I had a feeling I'd written it wrong and so I just wanted to...
So, we shall introduce players and then I'll get back to what you're doing in the story. First up is Ariadne.
This is punishment for being so disruptive and...
Well, you're already talking, I may as well give you
Yeah,
talking.
no, I was trying to be lighthearted. I'm just trying to remember who the hell I am.
You're the gnome artificer.
That's right. I'm the gnome artificer. It's not good to call yourself a gnome bomber these days because that might trigger. It might trigger some military agencies to
Or
This
people
is recorded
calling,
and posted
yeah.
online.
yes, or people calling your race mad.
And
There's that too.
well, no,
Mad
we
bomber.
are.
You're a mad bomber.
We are mad, just in a genius mad, not.
Well,
you
you
know,
use bombardier instead of bomber.
bombardier. Yes, that's a good one. Anyway, I do like
That's
the.
an official bomber.
I would prefer to stick with the spelling mistake that makes me an atrilitist.
Cool.
Bleh.
Right.
Okay, no, not even that. I'm just duck and cover, duke and cover. Martin's made. You've made me bust my own name.
I know, it's fun.
You can cover the
So,
boomer.
I'm a small gnome who uses an illusion to look like 3 even more miniature gnomes standing on top of each other in a suede trench coat, which I open up in a very questionable way to reveal a bunch of potions that will either cover you with sparkles or smell like someone did something in the corner and didn't clean it up, or both.
Or set light to you.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, also at the table we have Hall.
Who is Hluel?
That's L-E-W-E-Y?
Single L.
Yep, okay.
Single L-E.
Yeah.
Yes. Nobody else ever gets the double L right, but that's fine.
I know it from Lloyd.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the only
But
name I know.
the Welsh one is a rolled L.
Yeah, I can't roll my
Slight-
L's, I'm
yes,
sorry.
I know this.
I can roll my R's, Ariadne.
Yes. Anyway,
Wheel.
diplomat, elf, part-time healer, artillery piece, and apparently the champion of the Shadow Elves, who he's never met one of.
Very good, very good.
That's okay. He doesn't really get to examine his family tree that closely at this stage.
No,
Because they're not here.
no. I can go and ask my sister to have a look. She's good at that. One of my sisters, anyway.
And I'm sure
Is
she'll
this
say it's
in-game
all
sister
fine,
or-
all
What?
good.
In-game sister or real life sister?
In-game
sister.
In-game
Good.
sister. No.
And then we also have
Kesley.
Kesley getting names and characters the right way around does
Yep.
help. Because I was about to say there's Lani next.
Yeah,
I was
we
like,
have
no, it's Kesley.
Kesley.
Yeah.
Yes. So I am playing Kupo Lani Aokai. She goes by Lani. And she is the human Makai fighter. She is the tank of the group.
The Undying, if I recall.
Lani the Undying, Bane of Fire Giants.
And the
I
GM said
really
challenge
love
accepted.
these titles,
Right?
to be
Yeah,
honest.
this can turn out terribly for her. Yep,
You have
she's.
used
You're
my
alive.
hearing up entirely on a couple of occasions.
I did, yes. She is here now, having her loyalty to her new crew, just making sure everybody stays safe and not dead is her goal. So, yeah.
Could be a lot worse.
Yes. So yes, Line of the Undying, as long as you've got a healer standing behind you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Online today we have Jeremy.
The
Yes,
unknown.
good evening all. I'm playing the Atruaghin tribesman, who was once a watchman of the tribe, tasked to look over some younglings when they went out into the wider world. Unfortunately, the younglings in his care did not survive.
But you did watch over them.
You did
He
watch
did
it?
watch over them, absolutely.
You watched them die perfectly.
And
took notes.
as after the having been touched by Atruaghin himself, and possibly as a personal geese upon him to fix his failure, he's now out to try and become a lawman of the tribes. So,
Yes.
as in L-O-R-E.
Instead of L-A-W.
Lore man.
Because he started off as an L-A-W man of
Strictly
his
they're
tribe,
both.
and now he's becoming an L-O-R-E man of his tribe.
Law versus law.
Yeah.
Yes.
Australian accent.
God, don't you love the English language?
Law, lore. Because Australian accent. Law,
Because-
lore. Very different
Yeah.
to
Law,
my
law.
ears.
Law and law.
See?
Well, law and law.
Law-
So it depends
law-
on how you pronounce the R.
Exactly.
And Aussies don't pronounce the R.
Either way.
Works out.
Okay, so yes.
Eventually, it was whether or not he put it into jail or jail.
Yes. And then there's some people who just call it Lao.
And we also have online Clarissa.
Hi, so I play Neri.
That's
Neri is actually a seasoned Fae with a great singer, who is also a champion in half high of one of the Knights of the Trailway, and she was the chosen champion.
Cool.
Yes. So for you, this is a really personal quest. But then for all elves, this is a really personal quest because if the tree dies, technically your entire race dies.
Yes.
No pressure.
Except the Shadow Elf.
And you are the ninth group sent to fix this.
And we haven't found any loot from any previous ones yet.
So
it's a shame. It means that-
questionable how far the other 8 groups got along.
Yeah.
Can you mute just for 10 seconds? I want to ask you a mad question so that I'm not so distracting. I'll be back in a second.
Okay, back again.
And such a long week.
And last session we had you returning to the Griffin fields where you had then headed off and started talking with the centaurs.
Mm-hmm.
So you ended last session with a discussion with the centaurs.
I believe the centaurs gave us a large stallion with a short white staff, asked if we are aligned with the round eater in the White Tower. We say no, and he gave us the task of retrieving his son from the White Tower for the centaur coin.
Yep. So if you can get the chieftain's son out of the tower, then you manage to get yourself the coin from them.
Which it's very possible there may be more than one coin at the tower if who we think is there is there.
That is correct.
Did the chieftain explain how long ago his son had been stolen?
I believe we ended the session before we finished the conversation.
Yeah. We haven't found out yet.
Okay.
Okay.
here's the thing: a lot of people think things get wrong.
No, I'm not getting on the phone.
Things like D&D and stuff. How much would that weigh? It's full length.
Okay, they don't say there how long, so I'll look a little bit later into the story and see if it says it there.
Well, it's not that important. It was more the idea is that if the kidnapping happened very recently, then obviously there's more urgency potentially for the rescue. But if it's been 6 months or more, then it's a case of thinking, okay, well, yes, we're going to get there, but do we have to get there tomorrow, or can I wait another week or so?
That was what I was going to find out for you, because it makes it a little easier having context.
Because the other factor is that, by the looks of it, there is going to be more coins at the White Tower. So is it worth trying to investigate all the other locations first, to then get an idea of how many coins we're looking for at the White Tower?
That's actually a good point. Yeah, I guess maybe we should ask the lead center about, when he was taken, how long ago he was taken.
Sorry, I was just saying I was reading and looking up for it.
Oh, sorry.
And obviously, for us, it's the idea is that if we find out it's been some time, then we can think about not going there immediately. I wouldn't be saying that we're, hey, come to the ship. No, that's not our number one priority right now.
Yeah, no, be a bit more diplomatic. Yeah.
And it happened 3 weeks previously.
Oh, that's quite a long time to be a hostage.
Yeah.
So that's going to take some
How many spots have we
right.
not got any information on yet?
Keys. I have that just back here.
Well, technically there is 6 of them you have not gotten much more than a general information without visiting.
Yeah, so if you want to know key specifically, we have no solid information on the Justice Key, the Lizard Key, and the House Key. The Warrior Key, was that the one with
we got that one.
Yeah, that's it. We've got the Griffin, the Manticore, the Chimera, the Nymph, and the Narwhal Key. We kind of know where they are-ish.
The Nymph Key is missing. She thought the Narwhal had it, but the Narwhal doesn't have it. The Narwhal Key is with the Nymph as far as we know right now.
The Nymph is stealing it.
Yeah, we stole it, so...
which is actually an Undyne, the Water Nymph.
Yeah, Undyne, yeah. So when I say ish, we know that it's been stolen, so we think it's likely that it's at the White Tower, but we don't know for sure. Yeah, I'm just going to mark off the Warrior Key.
So you do have the choice of whether or not you want to confirm how many keys are in the White Tower before going there.
How do you do that?
Going to the other locations.
Find out how many are left over. Yeah.
Okay, so...
Because if you pick up all but 2, then you know there should be at least 2 in the White Tower.
Exactly.
Yes, rather than go to the White Tower, we've got the key, and then leave and have to go back again.
And
that's what Jeremy was saying.
In the southern side, right?
You're in the middle of the south, where the tower is more of the southern end of the south.
So is it the Nymph Key that we think is with Moorcroft, or the Narwhal Key?
The Nymph
Key. So that's why I've got Moorcroft there.
And the Hydra Key.
And where's the Hydra on this list? Oh, there it is. Yes. So we suspect 2 of them are at the White Tower.
So now that we know there's at least 2 there, and the sun's there, so we can get that key. So
there are 3 keys worth at the tower so far.
Yeah.
But if you go there not looking for things and don't find it, then you don't really want to keep going back if you only get one chance. You don't know.
Essentially, to go and look at the summer quadrant, which I think is the only quadrant we haven't been to yet.
It would be...
You've only been to two of the, that's right.
No, we went winter, fall, summer, we should be going to spring.
Because Narwhal, Nymph, and Hydra were one quadrant.
Yep.
Eagle, Chimera and Griffin, was it?
Yeah.
No, not Griffin. The
I think Griffin is correct.
No, the
Griffin grew young now.
Manticore.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
What was it?
So, Manticore.
Manticore, yes, that's what it said. Was the next quadrant. And now we're currently in a quadrant with the Griffin, the Centaur, and the Warrior.
Yep. So spring is our last.
So yeah, so whichever season it is, I haven't I couldn't remember which one was, but yes, there's only one quadrant we haven't actually visited at all yet.
That
What
is
was
correct.
the Narwhal quadrant in though? Was it autumn or? I think it was autumn.
Narwhal is winter.
Winter. Okay, so we haven't gone to
Spring.
spring. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um,
So, yeah, so autumn, winter.
And I'm. Oh, sorry.
It is spring that you haven't been to yet.
So what I was also going to say, now this doesn't have to be a change in plan, but since we don't know that one of the keys is where it is, but we know that 3 of them are at the White Tower, being aware that we don't know where the 4th key is, we could go to the White Tower first, rescue the Centaur, and look for the key we don't know where it is.
Well, technically, the one of the 3 keys you get by getting the young centaur, but the key's not there.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
So-
Alright,
So
yes.
as far as we can conjecture, there are
Yeah.
2 keys there and the sun.
Yeah.
And then when we return the sun, we get the 3rd key.
Yeah.
As for the other 3 keys we haven't even started looking for yet, we don't know what their status is. So it would be probably in our best interest
Yeah,
to go
go to
there
spring.
first,
Yeah.
and then. But like, we're not going to tell the chieftain that. We're just going to be like,
Yeah.
yes, we will find all the information.
No, of
we
course
can."
we won't tell the chieftain that. I just, I have the really horrible memory and
I
slow
guess
processing.
I guess I'll ask the chieftain, how old is his son and what is his name?
He said, actually, he was just looking at that. So he does have a name, which is amusing because they don't always give them names.
Yeah.
No.
Sometimes it's just child.
That's how we end up with Dom Diesel in
Exactly.
being our clan.
His only son is called Caperling.
Right. Fair enough.
I cannot write fast enough for all of this stuff.
Do they have a general description of his son?
Like colour.
Very young centaur.
He's got 4 legs, 2 arms.
So the question would be then more specifically, is he a foal? Or is he a yearling? Or is he a little bit older
He's
than
a
that?
kid.
This is a very good question.
Does that make him a guy?
Because a foal would be far more vulnerable.
Sorry, I have to try to figure that out. So,
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Well, my reasoning is a foal would be very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the older, of course, the less.
Yeah, a yearling would be feisty, and then after that he would be.
Yeah, if he's like an adolescent, then
Yeah.
you know he could possibly take care of himself for a bit longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, the younger you don't expect.
I'll also point out that the tribesmen having suggested that possibly we could do spring and find out if there's any other keys to find the White Tower first.
Yep.
He's actually also keen to say, hey, no, we should rescue the keys.
Yeah. That's well. I think what you're suggesting and what everyone else is on board with doing is getting enough information to make that decision.
Well, the description from the chieftain is about half his height.
I would put him at adolescence then, but that's based on my real knowledge of horses, not on my D&D knowledge of centaurs. So that would be possibly redundant, so I don't know why I'm talking about it. Anyway, half his height. Okay, and he's an adolescent.
So half his height would be probably a year.
Adolescent. Well, as I said, my real knowledge of horses is young adolescent.
Yeah.
A yearling's still considered child.
Yeah, because I'm basing it off real horses.
Yeah.
Comparing the height of like. Well, I guess it
Hands.
depends on what kind of horse he is too. Is he
Yeah.
a Clydesdale? Like,
Yeah.
what kind
That
of
would
horse is
be-
he? But yeah, no. Comparing a full-grown stallion, half of that, it wouldn't be a full, but it would be a young horse.
Yeah. So maybe 2 or 3 years old,
Yeah.
rather than
He's
0 to
he's
1.
small enough that if we have to carry him, we can.
Yeah.
Well, it's small enough to make him a medium-sized creature instead of a large creature.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's more young adolescence than it is child.
I mean, he hasn't fully grown yet.
Yeah. Can we have we already, or can we do I'm not sure what it fall under, whether it's perception or history or
Same thing.
that sort of thing, but some kind of check regarding our knowledge, at least about the type of horses that the centaurs are. Because if he's like a draft horse but he's young, he's going to be a bit more robust than, say, a more diminutive breed.
Well,
Shetland.
Yeah, it makes a big deal.
If he's medium sized, we can probably approximate probably about a quarter horse or size.
A Shetland centaur would be a dwarf.
and as centaurs, these look more robust than any centaurs you've seen before, but they don't look like Clydesdales.
Yeah, okay, so...
No, but Belgians sort of...
We may have time, but not a lot.
Look excessively muscly for
Belgians.
horses.
American
yeah.
Mustang,
Belgians.
hell yeah!
So,
Yeah. Have you ever seen a Belgian? Get something that's basically the same size as a normal horse, and then bulk it up by about 40%.
yeah. Yeah, they're a lot of muscle.
They are a cart horse.
Yeah.
They're a heavy horse. They're the same size as a normal horse. And if you just glance at one, you go, it's a normal horse. Then you look at it move and go, that's a bunch of muscle with some bones in.
Yeah, that's it.
And
And
these
they
guys
look
do.
amazing.
These
Well,
guys
yeah.
do look
Yeah.
stronger than the normal centaurs you've dealt with.
Right, like they're pretty
Yeah.
much like
They're
pretty
beefy
special
types.
for
Slight-
the area. Though.
Slight segue, Martin and
Yeah.
I, really early in our relationship, went to an event where we got to see Spanish dancing horses.
Yeah.
Oh, that must be so
And they
cool.
are, just
Yeah.
seeing that, you
Yeah.
get
By the way, do you know where that dancing comes from?
yes, but I can't remember.
It's horse karate.
Yeah.
It's actually a trained martial art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I did research at the time, but it was like
Yeah.
20 years ago.
That's why they're called scholars' weapons.
Okay, so back to the game.
Yes.
So
Then,
what I was just
maybe.
going to say, it's taken us sometimes only a few
Yes.
hours to a day to 2 days to travel between sections and to keys. That said, given his estimated age, we possibly do have 3 to 4 days where we can go to the Spring Quadrant first and then move on to the White Tower if we can
Yeah.
maybe figure out what their travel time is, and the centaurs might be able to help us determine that.
Yeah, unlikely to, because
Yeah.
none of the creatures go from one season to the
Oh,
next.
yeah.
And
yeah.
also, you just said you're going to go find the kid,
That's
rather
right.
than discuss how to travel to a different location where the kid isn't.
Yeah,
Well-
let's do that after we leave them.
Yeah, well, that would be after we leave them. I didn't mean that
Yeah.
in front of the centaurs.
That was why I was bringing that up.
It's sometimes really hard for me to tell the difference between player and role
I guess,
playing.
does anybody have any final questions for
The
the
centaurs.
Do
centaurs?
we
before
know who took him,
No.
how he got taken?
It was.
They say it was Moorcroft.
Okay, they know for sure.
The round ear.
They say it was
white
Moorcroft.
tower.
Okay.
Has Moorcroft provided any evidence to confirm or
Proof of
reason
life?
behind stealing your son?
Yeah.
They want the centaurs to fight each other until the only remaining centaurs serve him.
Okay.
So he's definitely going to keep your son alive until that goal is achieved?
He is unsure. There's no guarantee.
It's Moorcroft. He was going to be a bad guy no matter what you do.
He says the Wizard of the White Tower can do whatever he wants.
But as... Oh, sorry, Jeremy.
Go on.
I was going to say, but as this is his goal, you presume he's going to keep him alive. The centaurs seem to be very militaristically knowledgeable. Perhaps outside a game as a player, we could suggest to him that they both stall to give us time to go and rescue the son. And that way, hopefully nobody dies. Maybe?
It's if we're asking them to go stall, it's with the understanding that we're going to the tower right away.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it as a player, because discussing
Yeah.
that in front of him
Would not be.
would be very undiplomatic and Martin.
Presumably, the Moorcroft is scared of your forces if he
Yeah.
requires you to
Serve him.
effectively fight each other to reduce your numbers. Surely if you work together.
Yeah.
He has threatened to execute his son if the centaurs approach the tower.
So these two groups, we've got the son of the lead horse being kidnapped, is there an equivalent youngling that's been kidnapped of the opposing people? Let's say you said purple and green.
Yep.
And is the leader purple or green?
The leader is purple.
Okay,
I
so
get
maybe
the impression that they were all quite happily one tribe.
Yeah.
Until Warcroft said, you were to kill yourselves or serve me.
Yeah, or at least...
And basically, the difference between green and purple is green doesn't want to serve the tower.
Yeah. So that's what I'm wanting to find out.
So there is a cultural difference between the two, but it's really who do they want to serve?
Because technically we don't know that, so it's not bad to confirm that there's not a kidnapped party on the green side. I think I got the right colour.
Yep.
No. Yeah, that we... Because if we're going to the tower to rescue this youngling, and it turns out that we've got 2 to rescue, that would be kind of good to know now. And because Martin's kind of particular about what we know as characters, if we don't ask that as characters, we don't know that even if we know it as players. So it's a worthwhile question to ask before we leave.
Yes.
It is.
Okay.
Excellent. I'm used to having characters jump to conclusions anyway.
Yes, that's how you ended up being the tribesman.
So I
Yes.
guess we'll ask the chieftain. Has this been the only member of your herd and the other members' herd that has been taken to your knowledge?
In the current generation, yes.
Cool. Okay.
In the current generation, that's very specific.
It is.
How long is a generation, I wonder?
For centaurs, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Do you ask them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. They said last 100 years.
Okay.
Ah,
Alright.
okay.
So presumably there's not other abducted centaurs that have been missing for over 100 years that are presumed to be alive.
To Lonnie's knowledge, how long do centaurs live for?
You don't know because you've never really asked centaurs how long they live for.
You
could ask now.
Nah, I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah.
Lonnie's gonna continue to just assume.
Yep.
Well, from a perspective, if they say a generation is 100 years, that means that they would probably live to about 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a generation is
24.
generally youth.
Yeah, it's generally like 20 to 30 years depending on the society.
Yeah. Well, it's the average age at the point where you have your first surviving child.
Yeah, so adulthood. So for
about
humans
young
it's
adult
18
is
to
most of
21.
Yeah. Although for historical purposes they usually use 25, make it easier to do the calculations.
Yeah, it's much easier to calculate on that. And
But,
it's
yeah.
more easily agreed upon that 25 is more adultly mature than 18. Because at 18 they just get access to alcohol in Australia and then they spend the next 7 years getting drunk.
Only 7.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have any further questions for the chieftain. Does anybody else?
Nope.
Have we found out the location of this White Tower yet?
To the south.
To the south.
South of the Griffin Fields was what you've been told by the Griffins
Okay.
and the Pixies.
Right.
The Centaurs don't go there, so they didn't give you directions.
Yeah, okay. That was more just to remind me of whether or not...
Well, they know where it is, they just don't go there.
Yeah.
Well, if they know where it is, maybe we should get their perspective, and that if it's the same, that's fine, but if it's extra information, that's good. I'll ask.
Information is useful.
Okay. They basically will say south of the Griffin
Yeah,
Fields.
so that just confirms what we know already. I don't think that does any harm. Alright, I'm done.
Okay.
What about Nere or the tribesman? Any more questions?
All good.
Clarissa?
I don't because as you know, as someone female presenting, like I can't really.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying anything.
Yep.
But it's a bit hard. Like if you can put a little bit of this, like how to describe it.
What question? Sorry.
The side talk about like how relevant. It's like to me, it's hard to feel how relevant to know. Like the generation life from the centaurs, like it makes me feel a bit sidetracked.
Well, you could ask. It's not that you can't talk because you're female. It's just when the initial contact was made, it was better if a male started off that conversation. But now that the conversation started, you could either ask Luel to ask the question for you, or you could ask yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'd also, my expectation or belief here was that basically after we'd been across along the road and they shot arrows down at the feet of the tribesmen, and then they agreed to talk to the elder and things like that,
Yeah.
and found out that fun. Are we still standing in the middle of the road, or did we go off
Yeah.
to...
You were still standing in the middle of the road because you didn't want to pick a side.
Yeah, picking a side was too dangerous.
Because I was picturing the fact that a bit like the Griffins would be taken back to their main campground and...
It was a reasonable assumption.
It was a reasonable assumption, but you didn't pick a side, so you didn't want to side with one side of the centaurs and anger the other.
I guess it was just markedly clear to us in our first encounter that this was going to be decidedly... it would be decidedly diplomatic in comparison to the Griffins, because there wasn't like two opposing sides in that case.
Absolutely. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm happy for us to tell him we'll head off and we'll do our best to get his son, but to say it in what sounds like a diplomatic, we're going to do it immediately, but leave it vague enough so that once we get out of hearing, we can discuss what our timeline would be.
Yeah, well, that's my job.
Yeah.
Okay, so Paul.
Yes.
Diplomatic role to convince them that they're very important, but you're not going to do it right away.
Well, we might.
No.
We just want to...
I'm just...
We're going to do it in an appropriate manner and as quickly as is practicable. That's the sort of wording.
Yes.
Getting appropriate information to do so.
Yes. Well, that's the thing, is that we need to be able to do reconnaissance and so on. I'll add some of that stuff. The other one is I'm making sure not to be too flowery, because this is not an elven court.
And they are very blunt people.
They are very blunt people. So I'm going to be doing things from in their way with an elven twist on it, because they're going to expect me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be flowery from their point of view, but not so flowery as to be annoying or rude.
Go ahead.
So this is my persuasion check, which is pretty bloody ordinary.
The tribesman might help or hinder it by saying, we will return with your son.
Yes, I actually fully expect that from the tribesman, to be honest.
Well, yes. Yeah.
Again, he's actually paying time. Certainly, for his purposes, he's thinking, yep, that should be the number one priority for us right now.
Well, of course it is. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, though. This is what I'm saying.
It is the priority.
It's what I'm saying. It's just I'm saying it in a way that makes them feel good about the fact that we're not going to be doing it exactly right now, because we need to find out some more information and various other things.
Well,
so I'm spending a minute to say what you said in 3 seconds.
Yep.
Hopefully mine's rather more useful.
And a part of that is...
That's what I do.
Is that even though it is our priority, we might need to figure out the timeline.
Yeah.
Just trying to get what Paul actually rolled.
Yes.
14.
14.
Which is
okay.
Almost useful.
Oh, yeah, that's... Yeah.
Because he did do the roll. And
2-second memory.
No, that's
I
fine.
don't mind if you pull me into line.
No. We were all talking.
Okay, so yes, that they all sort of look a bit sideways and nod and unsure what's going on, and then you have the tribesmen say, and when we return we'll bring your son, and they go, I think that's what he said, yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Basically.
But between the two of them, yeah, that works.
But the way I said it, it makes them feel good about the whole thing of what we're doing, and but
you rolled a 14, so they only got mildly better.
They were also slightly confused.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I should have probably spent 20 seconds saying it 30 seconds saying it instead of a minute.
Yeah. I think they got lost after the first 20.
Yeah, quite probably.
And then they head off into the forest, leaving you in the middle of the road.
Yep.
Right, so...
Spring, or just get out of the area and discuss? Head towards Spring while we get out of the area and discuss?
We'll do that.
Yep.
So to do that, you would have to head back to the Griffin Fields, and then north through the Griffin Fields.
So that's well away from our target.
Well, no. The point being, from the Centaur's perspective, we're going to turn around and head back where we came. Whether we go north or south in the Griffin Fields, From
Yeah.
their perspective, we're going the right way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
We
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go towards the White Tower until we get to a point where we can choose.
For someone
do
who
the
can't
right
tell
thing.
north, east, west, and south from inside a house, that makes a lot more sense to me. The only reason I know that that's east is because the sun wakes me up. I think it's actually the
Most people can't do that.
There's a lot of people who surprisingly correct me on that when I guess it wrong.
Yeah, there's a half a chance they're wrong though.
Yeah.
There's that too. But most people only do it after they've worked it out by having to think hard. They don't just go, oh, that's nice.
That's an outside real life thing. Right, we head off.
Okay, so you end the day in the Griffin Fields.
Okay.
So since we're in the Griffin Fields and it's the end of the day and we're presumably camping and getting food, should we be having even if we don't detail it word for word in game, just having a general discussion of collating our data and forming a plan of what we're going to do and how we're going to do it?
Yes.
We're certainly discussing it over the evening.
Yeah.
Do the Griffins actually encourage us to stay with them again, or are they happy for us to start off by ourselves?
Well, they're happy for you to stay with them again because, that they enjoyed beating up the bad people with you.
Okay. It also then gives an opportunity to check on any of the injured ones and help them recover and things. So that's cool.
Okay. Did you want to do anything else while you were there for the night?
Are there any...
snacks.
I can get you something if you like. Are there any things we need to prep, like potions and things like that I always forget to do until, we're in the middle of something?
Most of your stuff is you prep as you use it.
Yep.
So then the real question is, are we going north or south from here? Are we going back towards
We would go
Fields of
west.
Sweet, or are we going straight down the White Tower?
We would go west to go into the spring section.
And Drazzle does speak up when you're talking about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
He says, if you enter the White Tower, he can't help you.
Okay.
Because if he enters, he will not leave.
Yeah, and he needs to do other things.
Yes.
If you enter without him, one of you may not leave.
So this is we only have a one-shot sort of thing.
Yes.
Or the alternative is make an attempt to draw the Moorcroft out of the tower instead of going into the tower.
Yeah.
Because he's worded it very specifically. If you enter the White Tower, he can't come with us. If we get Moorcroft out of the White Tower, he may be able to help.
But
But
they're
if we
not
pull
being
the thing down and
guaranteed.
raise it to the ground,
Exactly.
I've got the impression that it's a slightly different
we're
statement
not
there.
entering it.
Preference or both?
I got,
It's a bit harder though.
I'll leave
I got the impression that it was slightly different there with the fact that he said that if we go there without him, then one of us has got to stay behind.
No, he said enter without him.
And one of us might die.
And I would also
Not-
like
not
to
come
point
out.
out, even if we call Moorcroft out of the tower, that doesn't necessarily mean that those keys or the Centaur's son
Are
would
with
come out with
him.
him.
Well,
So either way, we would have to go
presumably
into the
defeat him.
tower.
I was going to say, presumably if we defeat him, perhaps we can then go in.
We
Yeah.
would still have his minions.
We can take
And the
him.
other thing I meant to say is, I said if we go in, one of us must die. What I actually meant is, more specifically, one of us won't come out. So
Yes.
maybe
Or
one of
to
us becomes
specify.
the White Wizard. So, becoming the White Wizard wouldn't be a bad thing. That's obviously a metaphor. And you guys know.
He also states that the wizards' forces have mobilized.
Oh.
That's going to change things too.
Well, that's not surprising after the destruction of one of their forts.
Yep.
Little tiny problems.
But I'm getting the general idea that the intent then is to go to Spring and try and determine the information about the other keys before attempting the White Tower.
Yes,
Well-
I agree with this.
At least then we'll at least have Drazzle's help up until the point he can't accompany us into the White Tower.
Exactly.
And then there's the knowledge that also, as Kelsey was saying, we're going to have to put our best into that move when we do, because otherwise one of us might die.
Yep.
Is there a way that we can use to try to start, like, attacking, like, physically destroying the tower to try to force the leader out?
Well, the problem of the complication is, as I think Kesley said, if we destroy the tower and the abducted centaur is in the tower, there's a chance we might kill him, and then the centaurs would probably draw and quarter us.
And the other factor is that we technically, if the preference or the idea is to get to Moorcroft when he's not in the tower,
Yeah,
we can just do that by waiting.
yeah,
Because we know that Moorcroft comes out every few months or so
yeah,
to kill more of the trees.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't like. I would think that, particularly since we're concerned for time
yeah,
about the tree of life,
yeah,
I think that we don't necessarily want to do anything that is likely to delay processes,
yeah,
which could include trying to kill Moorcroft out of, or defeat Moorcroft out of the tower,
yeah,
and therefore still try and force our way into the tower. Because at this stage, we may be able to find a entrance into the tower with more stealth involved,
yeah.
rather than a frontal assault.
Yeah, because a frontal assault, especially with Drazzle's warning, we really want to look at avoiding a frontal assault because, he has said one of us might not make it. If we attack directly and any one of us ends up in the tower as a part of that assault, because you can never predict how a combat goes or where it's going to go.
There's always a danger that someone won't make it.
Yeah, there is always that danger, but being cautious and trying stealth first and then moving into a more direct attack later shouldn't. It carries less risks, not low risk. So, yeah, I kind of with the tribesmen in the sense that at this stage, maybe get some more information, maybe go to Spring if everyone else
I feel like that's the plan.
agrees. Yeah.
And Drazzle seems he hasn't finished yet.
I'll shut up then.
Yes.
He also points out that the ley lines are weak and there's only enough power for one more use before the ley line withers and dies.
The ley lines are the paths?
He doesn't say.
Okay.
He doesn't clarify. And then he closes his book and goes to sleep.
What do we know? Like, I'm presuming the elves know a bit about ley lines because they're elves.
Well, one of them does.
Okay, is that Clarissa? Okay, so I asked Clarissa about ley lines since Drazzle just mentioned it.
So, from your perspective, Clarissa, you know that the trees of life power the ley lines that you use.
So if they're weak, then...
Yes. And I also know that for some reason, those are not accessible here.
And they've not been accessible in Alfheim either.
Because Moorcroft.
Because the trees are dying.
Did I know?
No, you've associated that with the trees dying.
Yeah, so you do know the trees are dying. That's why the ley lines are weak.
So
If the trees die, the ley lines also go.
Yeah. What is the function of the ley lines though? Do we?
Power conduit.
Okay. Power conduit for magic. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, for our magic.
Well, I'm a gnome. I
Yeah.
make all I'm artificer. So
Yeah,
one
well,
more use.
I'm in the same boat
Yeah.
because it's not going to affect me.
yeah. Well, it's not that it's not going to affect me,
Yeah.
but my understanding of ley lines
Well,
and magic has to be
yes.
kind of explained more directly.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Clarissa's a wizard.
Yeah.
Okay, she's a special assigned wizard.
So she's got an
a wizard.
intuitive sort of knowledge.
Well, she's got scholarly knowledge.
Scholarly.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yes.
warlock. I vape things.
Yeah.
And I don't use that as a power.
The only reason she knows is because she's one of the
Well, she's a guardian
workers
as well.
of
Yeah.
the trees.
Yeah.
None of the other elves beyond the workers of the trees get told that.
Yeah. Because it doesn't affect them.
Also, they don't want them to know that they're using the power of the Tree of Life to cast spells.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine if you overcast and kill the thing that's supporting your entire race?
Yeah.
So,
the guys asked the question.
yeah.
But I made a really good cup of coffee.
If Michael mentioned there's only one use for ley lines left, but who's using the ley lines?
Yeah, I'm like, we need more info.
There's only one left. The only implication of that from our perspective, and as far as we're aware from the whole Elven Basics perspective, because no one's actually using them, is they're dying and they're running out of time.
So why are they? Like, who's using them specifically? Can we figure that out? Like,
It could be indicated.
I don't know if
maybe
that's
Morpeth
a
is using the
intelligence roll or
keys to
something.
try to use the tree to break into whatever magic it is.
Actually,
Yes.
that was a good suggestion. I believe that if I had a rest, I could actually prepare chicken maybe the forest.
Yeah. Well,
In a way,
that's
to
why
try to-
Martin's asking what else we do. So perhaps.
Yeah, it could be that. I honestly, I'm kind of just guessing. I think you would know better than me.
Yeah. So if you told us that, then we'd be happy for you to take that time.
Well, we're staying overnight anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just need to check on my spell books because I believe that I have something in my studies related to that.
Do we set up the tower for camp or?
No, we're with
Keep
the
it
Griffins.
low.
We're safe.
We're
Oh
at the
yeah.
Griffin Fields.
2 second memory. It sucks.
So to me, the real question, irrespective of the ley lines and things like that, and obviously we can get more information about that when you do the ritual tomorrow,
Yeah.
but does that change the decision as to whether or not we go to the spring or direct to the tower?
Well,
I still think we need to go
to spring.
to spring, no
Yeah.
matter what.
Exactly. And it's like the guys, he's actually more keen to go and rescue the foal.
Yeah. No.
But he's recognising the idea that if he's going to be a wiseman and advisor of the tribe, he's actually providing both potential sides
Yeah.
to the argument.
Yeah. So he's trying to be objective.
And yeah, certainly recognises the likely value in getting or at least finding out the other keys beforehand. And in fact, there might be more information to gain from the White Tower from the residents of the screen.
Yeah.
Lonnie will give you the metaphor that you can't put your sail out if you don't have your rigging in order. So.
And the tribesman goes, "What the?"
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeremy probably wants to respond to that.
No, that's right. Okay, the guy could think for a bit. And then he's been around, he's been on boats long enough that now that
Oh, okay.
he recognises the content of the sense.
So, I'm guessing, so I'm happy to be corrected, that the group are kind of, the consensus is we want Nere to do the ritual, and then after that we want to head to spring.
Which involves heading back to the central city.
Yep.
And then heading out to the east.
Yeah, and doing that with as much speed as we can.
Okay. I don't think I have anything further to input there because I don't know that much.
So we just need...
Okay.
Yeah. How long does the ritual take? Well, the rest and the ritual, yeah.
Have you looked up what you're wanting to look up, Clarissa?
I'm actually just checking my my list of spells.
Because remember, the other factor is that if we are going to the city and then through into the east, it means then that we've actually probably got at least a few days before we even going south to the tower. So if the ritual was just something to be done before we hit the tower, then whether or not we have the information immediately valuable or whether it's just as valuable in a few days' time, is also something to consider.
Well, the reason why maybe the ritual should be done in the morning is because it may change our decision to go to spring.
Yeah.
Okay, it could be time sensitive, that.
Yeah, and like I also need to prepare, like it has to be after my rest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, if we were going to the swing, there's probably going to be at least half a dozen deaths
Yeah.
that you can then do it after any of those.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. But
I'm happy that it's potentially time sensitive, so
Yeah, doing it early is good.
assuming we have a fairly quiet night,
yeah.
with
Well-
the deals and the protection of the Griffins.
So, Paul, can you grab the book that's directly behind you called Deep Magic?
And I think the tribesmen probably wouldn't object to the fact that we could also use that time to hunt, gather supplies, like do some hunting, things that we don't want to use time up later doing.
I'm thinking the ritual is probably still only a matter of an hour or two.
Yeah. But in that time, I'm pretty sure you could take down a few rabbits.
It's your definition.
Yeah.
But if it takes only a matter of, if it needs a slightly delayed start on our march for the city, then that doesn't make a huge difference.
I think Clarissa's not sure how long it'll take until she determines which spell she needs to use. So, in the meantime, we can chat with the Griffins
During
and
any of the preparations,
Yep.
I'm just sitting calmly, studying my spellbooks.
I will be either gathering supplies or figuring out what potions I might need to pre-make, which reminds me I should look at that.
I'm having a beer.
You're having a beer?
Yeah, I don't need to study, and I don't need to gather materials.
Some of
Sonny
us
joins
have
you.
all the talents. So first thing I saw on my page is kooky eccentric. I
Yeah.
kind of love that.
Well, it comes across with the name.
Well, it's just interesting that Martin's giving me that,
Yeah.
and it fits right into the character concept. It's not surprising, it's just amusing.
Here's the thing. Most gnomes are either sneaky mongrels or kooky eccentrics. Sometimes both.
When can I use Mind Like a Steel Trap? Because that gives me a proficiency in history.
You always can, and as long as it's along the lines of what it says in
Whenever
there
someone
for
steps on your
items.
head.
Okay. So that would be like if
Whenever
I
someone
found
steps on your
an
head?
article.
It should be written in there specifically. There should be a section in your abilities that describes how Mind Like a Steel Trap works.
So longer than the one line that I've got here?
And we'll look it up.
No, I can look it up. I just want to know where.
It should be in your section called abilities. If you've got a section called abilities, it's in...
So not there, somewhere else? It's about 4 down. Because that's only a single sentence, so I'm presuming you're referring
so
to...
in that case then you have proficiency in history and you gain a d4 every time you use a history check.
Yeah, I understood that, but you were clarifying that it only works for items?
There's another ability you have that only works on items.
Oh, okay, so this is different from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I was just trying to look something else up.
Yeah, I apologise.
Because there was one where the ley line stuff goes in there. I might have to get you to grab another book. The one next to it, the orange one.
Midland Heroes book?
Yep. Yeah, I think the Geomancy's in that one. Because I thought it was with the elves, but it's not. Because that's where all the ley line stuff is. Geomancy 88. Because that's how the rules all work. Specifically, is getting the right spells.
Yeah.
You know, this is where all the ley line stuff is.
I don't know how you pick which books you need out of that bookshelf.
He knows what's in them.
Yes.
Yeah. I do the same thing.
Okay, so ley sense would be the one you'd be wanting to use.
Weapon options.
If you have ley sense, Clarissa, that would be the one you'd want to use.
Yeah, because I remember, so that's what I'm checking if they're on my list. Thanks, 'cause I do know I was checking all of them.
Yeah. And I'll just check the other one. That is the one you'd want to use. Everything else manipulates the ley line.
I'll definitely ask you.
All good.
I wanted to ask how another one works, if you've got time for that. There's, where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, damn it. So there's secret ways, which says that when I navigate travelling, pursuers have a disadvantage on checks. made to track our whole group.
Could I have a look at it?
So it's about there. The question I have is, do I need to prepare for that? How long does it take? And can I do that if we find out, say, Moorcroft is following us somewhere between now and when we get to the tower?
Problem is, if you're travelling alone, you can always do that.
It says the whole group.
Yes. But you can travel stealthily at normal pace, only you can do alone.
Yeah.
But the whole group is what you can make disadvantage checks on anyone trying to track you.
Yeah, well that's what I'm asking. So if we are starting to head towards the White Tower, is that something I might preemptively do to stop our group in generally, like, say Moorcroft comes out looking for the people who attacked with the griffins, can I, if I discover that he's looking for us, can I use that then to do that? Like, I'm asking what circumstances is it?
You'd have to have said, I'm doing that in general.
Yeah.
So you'd have to be doing it before the person makes the check.
Yeah. So,
and if you don't know, then you'd be saying, let's use secret ways now and travel that way. And you would definitely not be taking the path and taking longer.
Yeah, so that's what I'm asking. Is it something that I have to, like, do at the start of every day or at every time we start out between rests?
If you want to make it harder for someone to track you, yes.
Yes. But until we start heading towards the White Tower, I don't have to do it. But once we head there, we may consider whether or not it's...
It only makes it harder for someone to follow you, not someone to see you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's... Okay, yep, that's...
So if someone's using magic to follow you, it has no effect on that whatsoever.
Yeah, it just
only
means
affects things trying to track you from the ground.
Yeah, they can't pin us down, so it's not useful.
It's where the wording is particular.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of not used to the literal interpretation.
So is Jeremy
should
back?
be by now.
I'm back, yes.
Okay, so yes, you are up in the morning. Clarissa, did you have lay sense as a ability, as one of your spells?
No, because I don't want to find the license. I have one ability in one of my secret crafts that is about how to communicate with the forest. That's what I'm looking at. Because I looked at the license and I didn't pick it up because it's just expensive. And he can use the ley line almost like a perception way as well. Let me just quickly check.
Oh, right, here it is.
Can I commune with a tree, even though it was here? Because I can't remember exactly, but there was something that we discussed.
Okay. You can technically with downtime, but it may take you a week to do so.
Right. That would take too long.
Trees don't talk fast, for one thing.
Because they're going to be around a while.
And to actually get a proper conversation with a tree generally takes a long time.
Which is why elves spend a lot of time meditating. Because they're chatting with trees and it takes a while.
Yeah.
In general, are they...
I'm going to talk to my treant buddy.
Okay, can we pause for a sec? And Clarissa, you were saying?
Sorry. Yes.
So because I can't find exactly what it was, but I do know that it's not just a spell, I have to do a deeper communion.
Yeah.
So what I'd rather do is start preparing myself that as we travel, since people are going to do that, like we're going to have to learn about the new keys, I'm going to spend my time as we go, like just spending time to prepare for that communion, like meditating as much as I can.
The downside is that while traveling you can't do it.
Yeah.
You need to be able to spend a full day in a location to be able to gain that ability.
I know the general rule is don't split the party, but could we perhaps move closer to, like, split the party, unfortunately, and one or two people stay with Nereid while she does her ritual, while the rest of us figure out the clues pertaining to spring.
It would then leave her out of the game.
Yeah.
So
Literally.
Oh, really? She
Yes.
she wouldn't.
Because so I was just trying to finish explaining it to the people here. If Nereid is doing this preparation and stuff to talk to the tree, she needs to spend 7 days doing so.
Okay.
And you'll have quite easily gone through the northern part of the forest, gone to the White Tower and gotten back.
Okay, I thought it was just a few days based on what...
I said a week.
Yeah, well, a lot of people were talking, and Clarissa said, she only needs a few days, so...
Yes, but it does, most of these abilities, downtime generally requires a week's work to do for most downtime. And it's about being in connection with things, not travelling at the time.
I do understand that part. I just wasn't sure on the timing. My question would then be, what are the alternatives if there are alternatives?
Carry the tree in a pot.
Well, what was Jeremy going to say to that as well?
I was going to say, the real question is, what answer do you expect to find? Like, what are you going to ask?
Of the tree, yeah.
And you might also find that talking to the tree may kill it.
Oh, yeah.
You've been warned that there's only one activation left, and talking to the tree is an activation.
An activation, yeah.
Right.
So there's no more, if she's the expert, there's no other options?
You don't know. It may be holding what it's got in reserve to save the elves.
Yeah.
Because it is...
No, I mean, for Nereid,
This is not a thing that they accounted for.
Yeah, okay.
This is the first time this has happened in the entire lifetime of the elves.
I meant specifically in her character's skill set. Are there other skills that she has that she could be using that are more immediate?
To talk to the tree, no.
No, not to talk... In general, to achieve the original goal of finding out what we can about the coins in the tower and, something to... As Lani says, get all the rigging in place.
Well, that's what I was asking is the sense that, what question were you, what information were you looking to find out using ritual that we then can't find out by going and walking to places, dealing with the protectors.
And that's what I'm trying to determine. If there's no other spells, that's fine, but at least we know there's no other spells and we'll just do it.
That was what I was trying to get to.
What I wanted to know is what I was wondering is that is there a way to identify a drain into the magic of the tree?
Yes, that would be the sense ley line.
Okay.
So that would be the activation.
It's ley sense. It's not an activation. It's a spell that identifies ley lines and their strength.
That she doesn't have.
She does not have that.
Okay, cool. So the other reason I knew kind of what you were saying, but you were saying that Nereid is a large part of the storyline, so I was just trying to figure out if there was a place here for her to do more. But at the moment, it looks like following the tribesmen and getting more information seems like our best option.
At the moment, it seems like your only option.
Yeah, well, that's why I said best in a questioning tone.
The other option is go to the White Tower.
Yeah. So yeah, I think after all the discussion that's probably what we want to do, and we won't spend time in the morning doing the ritual. We'll just head straight off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess wake up in the morning, hope everything is the same, and then I guess we'll start heading. It's east, isn't it? Yeah.
You got to go north.
North
first.
Yeah. You're going to go north back to the main city in the centre of the land, and then take the east gate from the city.
Yeah.
Because it takes almost 3 to 4 times as long to cross country.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
We do it that way, I guess.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yes.
Yes, because trying to navigate valleys doesn't help if there's no paths across them.
Yeah. That can get really difficult.
Well, it's great if you can fly.
Well, the elves designed it so it was not suitable for someone who's not used to tree travel.
Yes. Perfectly reasonable.
And their trees were a lot smaller.
Yes.
That's how long it's been since I've been here.
Yeah.
Well, trees do grow.
Okay, so you end the next day in the city.
Does anything look changed?
Doesn't look like it's changed.
Cool.
The tribesman's not so keen to spend another night in the old treekeeper's house, personally.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. I'd rather camp just outside if that's where
Yeah.
Lure wants to go.
Can we find? I forget. Are the buildings in ruin or are they just empty? I know it's dependent
A bit
on
of
where you
both.
are.
Yeah.
I would kind of recommend maybe camping in a ruin.
Because it's a less likely target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, none of
That
the
makes good sense.
none of the followers of Moorcroft made
Go.
it into the town itself.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
never make it in. No, I'm just thinking because of the elf nonsense. Lonnie would feel more comfortable in a ruined one.
You don't
To
want
be
be
honest, I don't
accidentally fried
mind.
by a place that
By some elf magic.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of of the same
Well,
opinion. I'd rather.
Really bad for your day.
Yeah, I'm not. It's just,
While the second civilization of elves were the most racist of all the elves.
Yeah.
They had a reason to be. Humans almost killed them.
Yeah.
and I mean, this courage generation.
And they designed their
not
entire
much
kingdom
better.
to be anti-human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
It's why that.
What
it's
about
why everything
gnomes?
is. Gnomes hadn't existed at that stage.
Oh, okay.
That they predated the gnome civilization.
Does
Yeah.
that mean
Incredible.
technically I could spend time in the house and not be at risk, or does it,
It
not
would,
matter?
I think it's more anti anything not.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't identify you as a safe target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm camping with you.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Okay.
so yeah, we're
Yeah,
heading
we
to
camp.
spring from here.
Yep, and then
Yep.
we head out the east gate the next morning if nothing's
Okay.
happened.
And luckily for you, not much happens while you're there.
Perfect.
Yep, that is perfect. Just heading to the bathroom quickly. Or
Me.
is this okay?
Woo.
So, did you want to show Clarissa into the hidden area underneath the?
Ooh, good question.
Because she wasn't here for that.
Yeah, she does need to see that.
Or does she?
Um,
Isn't that where all the Blackwell artifacts were?
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if you've got any interest in the Blackwell artifacts, is she likely to just sing that childhood chant again and destroy them all?
That wouldn't be a bad thing, necessarily. It would. There are reasons both ways. It would give us some really good context for a lot of what her training is. Plus, if she ever found out about it and I didn't show her, she'd probably beat me to within an inch of my life. With good reason.
Or potentially further, because
actually, yes.
you actually have knowledge that's forbidden.
Yes. And if I show her the same stuff, she's got the same forbidden knowledge.
Yep.
Does that mean she's got to beat herself to death after she beat you to death?
Quite
no,
possibly, depending on the religion.
Before. Definitely before. Right, so.
But you did first, so you should die first.
Stop that.
Stop using logic.
Too much logic.
Oh. I'm using perfect logic. He's using imperfect logic.
Okay.
The
So,
imperfect logic is the one where I die first.
for Clarissa's perspective, Llewell takes you into a hidden area of the Tree Keeper's house, and that's the original Tree Keeper of the first Tree of Life, that the other races can't see.
Oh.
And it's a
Yep.
vault underneath the house itself.
And it's
And-
got some.
Inside the vault, you see devices very similar to what Cameron's character had on his wrist.
Mm.
Oh, that's the
Yes.
level
Is
of
that me?
magic.
Because
Yeah.
a bunch of things are Cameron's character. And up in my bag.
So there is a bunch of technological items here that technically don't exist.
Oh.
Because as far as history records, all these items were never made because they're far advanced beyond anything anyone currently knows.
This is the sort of stuff that Red Rune would be using.
This stuff is looks like it is of a lower quality than what he.
Lower quality,
yeah.
but it's that level of high tech.
It's basically you think it's someone trying to discover his level of tech.
Or rediscover it.
That's what I mean. Using his technology to try to learn to build it.
Yeah.
That's what Blackmore
But that's
was.
the thing. It's so far beyond what we're doing. It might as well be the same.
It's basically the forbidden knowledge that the elves never study.
Yes, because someone will explode their minds if they do.
The god has
So
forbidden it.
Nicola said, how did you find this? What is the meaning of all this here?
And most of this stuff looks like it hasn't been touched for more generations than you can realize. It looks like you are the first people in here in about 3,000 odd years or more.
Yep.
Remembering that this is the house of the last gatekeeper, the last tree keeper.
And also that the last elven civilization didn't fall 3,000 years ago. It fell a lot sooner than that.
Yes.
So the elves didn't come down here.
Yes. So this is the meaning of this. Well, that's up to the last owner of the house, or the last person who did anything in this room. But they kept this rather than destroying it. Despite it being made anathema.
What you actually had determined last time you were down here was this is the remnants of the technology that the elves took with them from Blackmore.
Yeah.
This is what was remaining as the items became forbidden.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Someone kept them rather than destroying them.
More so, they discovered them and impounded them. Think of it more like a
this
jail.
is that's a point. This is an impound office. So this is actually this is an evidence room
Because remember
for
also
an impound office rather than someone's collection. So this was going to be handed over to some authorities at some point, but the whole thing shut down before they did.
I know you think this was the authorities. This was where they basically removed them from reality from their perspective.
Yeah, it's a lock-up and an archive.
But remember also that in the time since these were locked up and the time now, the definition of how bad they were may well have evolved. Back when they collected them or locked them up, they said, "Oh yeah, we shouldn't use this stuff anymore."
Oh no! Well, this was
that eventually became anathema.
It had already been made. The gods don't like it at that point. As far as
Jeremy's actually correct. When they
it was actually okay.
It was part of their everyday life, but Ilsundal made them forbidden.
That's my point.
And
that's my point. God said this stuff is bad.
He was mortal when he made them forbidden.
So it was legal rather than a god saying
and
it.
then
It's
he
still
became a god and made it
but it's still
God law.
You can't have this. I have authority to say that.
And this is his
the fact that the fact that his authority changed doesn't actually change you're not using this stuff anymore.
But also if you think about
but he added to it. The thing is, it went from you're using this stuff to you can't use this stuff, and that would have been just when he said it. It's instant. But it went from a legal thing to a religious prescription. It was already you can't have it anyway.
It was part of the founding of the nation that you think he gathered up all the technology that the elves took with them and put it here.
Yeah, but the whole point though is.
Why?
Because the knowledge of technology almost destroyed the planet.
Oh.
They call it the Great Rain of Fire, where the first elven civilization was destroyed in fire and got buried under the ice sheets as the planet was thrown out of its axis.
well, what really happened was they just ran with a hit by a meteor and
No, not randomly. Somebody summoned the fucker. That'd be how I do it anyway.
Okay. The first raid involves the dinosaurs.
With my studies, because I have library and level studies in Immortals and Alpha History,
Yep.
do I have any extra information that I can recall?
What you know is basically this is the sort of technology that elves go out of their way to hide away and remove from civilization. They can't destroy all of it because most of it's beyond their ability to affect. And from your teachings, it's safer to be hidden away than to be out in the world causing mischief.
Yeah.
Which is why gnomes don't get along well with elves, because gnomes would love to study this stuff.
Absolutely. So,
And
I
the
want to
elves-
get there grabbing hands on it.
And the elves keep saying, no, you can't study this stuff, and we're not going to tell you why, because that's part of the problem.
So far, this is hidden away in a basement that's super secret that non-elves didn't even tell exists.
They can't even see the door.
Yeah, can't even see
Yep.
the door.
And they wouldn't be able to walk in even if they could see it.
Yep.
And there ain't no way either of us are going to be carrying anything out. From memory,
How did you find this place?
because I found the door.
We were staying overnight in the city one time, and I kind of just stayed put because the house gets a little zappy, against non-elves. So I just stayed put while Lua was like going around because this was Ilsindra's priest's house.
Which was originally his house, and
Which was
then,
originally Ilsindra's
then
house.
the tree keepers took over after he moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was just exploring and found it.
Yeah, which implies that the first of these items that were put in this room were put in here by Ilsendal.
It's a good chance he put all of them in here.
Yeah.
Well, at least the first few are. There's a possibility it's all of them. And him studying them probably led to him going, no, nobody's getting any of these.
There are no plaques, no notes, no labels anywhere in the room.
Yeah, and for several reasons, none of these are leaving this room.
Yep.
So my question as a player, given the knowledge of the two elves and the fact that the ancient childhood chant that Nari had been taught managed to destroy the Blackmore Golem.
Ooh. That is a good point.
Is she going to attempt to see what happens if she does the chant in here?
Of course, if one of them blows up as a heavy grenade, we'll both be making new characters.
Do it.
The tribesman has no impact on whatsoever because you know there, but as a player, I'm curious.
Though amusingly, there is no history of or discussion of this room in any of the teachings you've read or learned.
Yeah, I'll make the point that if they were so easy to destroy, why weren't they?
Yeah.
Well,
so that's not going to work.
The golem had been modified by the elves, which is potentially why the chant worked.
It had been set up to have a vulnerability. These have not.
But also the idea of the chant is obviously something that was developed quite some time after these artifacts got put hidden away. And so therefore the chant might have more power than they had when they were hiding stuff away.
Another thing to point out is the golem that you fought was less technologically advanced than these items.
And I'll make it, well, if this comes up, if this ever comes up in discussion, which it won't, I'll make that point. But yeah, the golem was magically weaker. Well, sorry, it was weaker to the sort of things that a divine chant would give. Yeah, I'll put it this way: if Ilsendal was going to say you can't have any of this stuff, why didn't he destroy them? Because it was difficult, so he didn't. If a chant was going to do it, nah.
But she is welcome to do the chant if she wishes to.
I'd be curious to
Well,
see if the chant
I'm not going to stop her if she
activates
wants.
them, though. That's the question.
Oh
No, I'm not
no! I really
changing
don't think so.
anything. I'm
I really
leaving.
don't think so.
Alright.
These
Probably the
are
smart decision.
these are higher tech. They're going to be more reliable and will actually require an on switch and up activation button.
So, as a
So-
side, I will also point out you found out last session that her chant was in Blackmorian.
Yes,
So it was...
which I will tell her
which-
once we actually start.
Which
talking
you
about
found out from Redrian,
Yeah.
roughly, because he understood the words.
It's the
Yes.
Blackmorian
And the
version of
Blackmorian was a
things.
bastardization of his language.
Yeah. it as their technology
Because
was
that's
a
how ancient, or I
bastardization
guess
of his.
how far back he goes. Like,
Yes.
His language was... You know how the current Chinese language is a subset of the ancient Chinese language?
Yeah.
That's roughly...
Is
Which one?
ideal.
as in saying there was one that was far more complex than the current one. There is a Chinese language of Mandarin that is
Okay.
more complex.
Because my dad actually did not just study this, but did this for a living.
The reality of the
There is
situation
there is
doesn't actually change the
there is
situation.
there is colloquial Mandarin and there is educated Mandarin.
Yeah.
And this is true with a lot of languages. If, the
Slavic
one you
languages,
want more
yeah.
is actually Low German and High German. Because their dialects so far apart, they're almost different languages, despite the fact they're both German.
Or, the reality of the example doesn't change the analogy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's
It's-
saying let's
no,
get back to the game.
No, it
and
does,
out
because
of the real world.
educated Mandarin is Mandarin with extra bits. It's not a nearly different language.
Let's just agree
Anyway.
that the real-time example
It's-
is
doesn't
flawed and just try
It
and
do-
get on.
Okay.
It's not that it doesn't matter.
So you
it's just at the
guys-
moment we're
Yeah.
using game time to discuss something that could be... Yeah. I do understand.
So, boss, Kessler?
I was gonna say, so you guys decide to leave the basement. Does that mean that we're good to go into spring? If anybody else had anything to do in the city?
No,
All good?
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Making sure where you end up for the first day.
There's something before leave. Martin,
What was that?
since we're in the city,
Yeah.
is there any access to a library or other elf magic place that I could check some elf spellbook?
You could spend a couple of days looking through the city because even in the place that was the tree keeper's home, there's lots of bookshelves but no books.
That is weird.
Well, it's been several thousand years. They'll have deteriorated.
There's no one in this city. The city's been abandoned for thousands of years when the elves left.
Yeah, insects eat things.
And
Well,
Except magic
Oh.
books.
and the other thing is books are easier to carry than furniture.
That's
There
right.
is that too.
I mean, I could cancel the Death Magister's ritual and start looking around to see if I found a spellbook left over.
You could spend time doing so, yes, but again, that is spending time. Do you want to spend a couple of days searching the city?
Yeah, keep in mind, like, we're trying to kind of move on, and taking time to do this would interrupt our timeline of wanting to accomplish these things.
And the other side of that thing is they haven't gone into many buildings. They've only gone into one building the entire time they've been here.
Yeah, so it would be a long time of searching.
But to me, the most important factor is the trees dying.
No, I was hoping to find, because if I found any spellbook that has, like, made by the elves, by the other keepers, I could take it with us, and it could have a spell that could help us, that's fine.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it was a
absolutely.
great idea.
It's a great idea, but there's a good chance that the keeper that either lost it or never had it here.
What it really comes down to is we probably don't have time for looking.
I don't know looking, but that's okay.
Of course you're looking. You're looking for books. That's all it is.
No, but that's actually research. I wanted to find a specific
No, looking
thing related to
for.
the craft spell.
That's not looting yet. It's archaeology at this point.
It really is.
Actually, no, that's a point. That's a point. No, that's a point. If you go looting, but take notes about what you're doing, that's archaeology and legit.
As long as
Yeah.
as long as it's more than 50 years old. it's
So,
really
so
counts.
next time there's a corpse, I'm going to take notes before I
Good,
take
that's
everything off it.
But, yeah.
And then it'll be when...
And the 50-year rule only
Yeah.
counts for human civilizations.
Yeah.
Considering elves have 900 years that they can easily live up to. So you're looking at about 1,000 years for an elven civilization before it's considered looting.
I like it. That's funny.
Yep.
It is in context of the race you're talking about.
It is, yes. Alrighty, cool.
Okay, so yes, instead of choosing to loot, you head off the next day. Well, you had probably the most valuable collection of stuff there. That is also the most horrifying stuff in the world, hidden underneath the temple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each item there would be worth more than most of you would imagine.
Wasn't Cameron an elf?
If you
He
could,
was, yes.
yes.
Oh, interesting.
He had a
Yeah.
forbidden item that he was carrying around.
yeah.
Who was it? That was
Cameron's character.
Previous, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The gun,
Before Ariadne
the
joined.
Yeah.
crossbow shield thing that he was wearing
Right.
is a Blackmore item
Ah, okay.
or something
Or
similar to
it is a
Blackmore item.
technology
And-
of
It was a
similar.
Blackmore item.
In
Yeah.
the story, when Cameron left, what happened to his character?
He didn't return to this dimension.
Oh, okay. Yep.
He got
Yeah.
Star Trek sucked up.
Drazzle
Yes.
might come across him in some
He
of
went
his
on a
travels.
continuing mission to explore new worlds and find new life on another world. Literally.
Yes.
That's who he was interacting with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you travel out, and as the day starts to come to a close, you see a rocky hillside ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And the amusing thing is, only two of you see this rocky hillside. Everyone else sees forest.
I'm guessing the elves.
Yep.
Right. Which is going to get interesting when we go and have a look at what, basically a tree.
So on top of this rocky hill stands a strange plate mounted on a vertical pole, glowing with an eerily golden aura. Above the plate is a needle pointing at a graduated gauge.
Okay.
Lined up the base of the pole are 10 open pouches, visibly containing large coins. And as the two of you walk up to it, you hear a voice say the pouches contain 10-ounce gold crowns. However, one of them has 9-ounce crowns instead. If you can find which bag contains the lighter coins in one single weighing, the key to justice shall be yours.
Oh, this one. One way.
So 10 poles,
So what are the
10
rest of us
bags.
seeing or
We're,
doing?
we're looking at a piece of. We're looking at a tree and a branch.
Yeah.
Lonnie
Uh,
will try to see what they're seeing. What does Lonnie see?
Lani sees them walking into the forest and disappearing.
Oh,
What?
not even looking at a tree.
Oh no! I call out to them.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, where you guys at? Can they hear me?
We're right here
Oh,
next
they
to the
can
post.
hear you, but you can't hear them.
Can
well,
I try to walk forward?
Yeah, she just a tree seems to get into your way each time.
So the path actually, the path we're following apparently stops. Is that right?
It does apparently
It's-
stop.
explicitly stopping you
This
here
is
and now.
Some coyote and roadrunner nonsense.
It's not just stopped where you are, it's stopped between you and us no matter what you do.
Oh, yeah, no. It's probably actually.
Okay, I know this can be
A
done.
magic area of some sort? Or is keeping an eye out?
It's keeping the non-elves out of the area.
I know this can be done. I've actually seen a description of it. I can't remember it offhand.
That's
However,
okay. You can
Phil has
technically
history.
you can do an insight roll to try to figure out the logic behind it.
Or can I do a history try and remember the trick because it is a trick.
Training station.
You have
Could I use
train.
that?
You have training on.
It's Paradise Station.
Couldn't get the word
You
again.
understand that?
It's spell identification as part of my
Oh, identification.
You can cast
Yeah.
identification, but identification won't tell you how to solve the problem.
No, No, not identification. I have a training in spell identification, so I'm wondering if that could help me to study what I see.
Okay. You see what is obviously an artifact, not a base magical item, and it is designed as a logic puzzle.
Yeah, it's a logic puzzle, not a spell.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's very fun, but yes, I do recognise it, and I do know the XA. I'm looking at the Tribune Wood, and so therefore probably afraid that I can't actually say it.
So give me a history
frustrating
roll.
for me.
Yeah.
Did you give me a history roll?
Well, I was going to check whether I could do history or
Insight.
I'll do the history.
Well, you asked for history first, so we'll do the history first. I'd rather do what you asked for.
Yep. But 23.
Okay. You remember something about a old story about counting coins from bags in order to find out their weight.
Yeah.
That by taking them in a certain way, you will actually know the exact weight of which one weighs less.
Yeah, but this is to identify which one is the one that weighs less and do it in one weighing.
And that's what you remember. There is a very simple method of doing so that you have a bit of knowledge of, and it is about taking a number of coins from each bag to do so.
Yes, but I can't remember the actual technique for it.
Okay.
On that roll,
I'll give you an insight roll with advantage.
Okay, cool. And it's a good thing it was advantage. Takes me to 18.
Takes you to 18. Okay, you do think that it is, because it's based on the numbers, if you take one coin from the first bag, 2 coins from the second bag, and so on, until you get coins from all the bags and then weigh them all together,
You
then
can identify.
it will tell you which bag has less weight in it based on the actual number you get.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to count out 55 coins, just count out 45, take zeros from the first bag.
No, this is Clawel, who has sat and moved one coin at a time into his bag for several hundred coins. He's not going to worry very much, especially since this is coins and he gets to count them, and they're gold. So yeah, he's going to be entirely happy to do lots of handling of coinage. Because
the reason it was a logic puzzle there was I decided not to make it a player has to figure this out. No, the character has to figure it out.
Yeah.
If the player has to figure it out, which is what the old D&D modules did,
yeah,
it became a player versus a GM sort of style game.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you right now, this player cannot figure out how that would work, but I'm going with it.
Yeah, the way to do that one is if the player can figure it out, not just remember it.
Yeah.
You can give them advantage or give them a bonus or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, generally it should be the character doing it.
So.
While you guys are dealing with something that we can't see,
yes,
I've got to wish happy birthday to a young nephew.
Okay, you go do so.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, you take your time.
I take my time. I discuss it with Nari, and then I will do the thing.
And so by figuring out it should be 550 ounces on the scale.
Yep.
Comes out to 546, which means you know it is bag 4. Because it's the number minus the thing which counts exactly which one it is.
Yep.
Because the number of coins does actually work out perfectly for that.
Yes. What'll work out even better is if we're allowed to keep all the coins once we're done.
I like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this is one of those math things that goes over my head.
Yeah.
I stopped doing actual math like 10 years ago, so.
Yeah.
That's why people have calculators.
Exactly.
Yes.
Or Google.
Exactly.
Yes, although Google has only given the ones where you've got 2
Yeah.
possible uses of the measure, not 1.
Yeah.
Even though I asked for 1, so that's obviously a lot rarer.
Mm.
It's far more difficult to
And
do.
the amusing thing is they've done it in the maths so the bags can move around to any bag
Right.
and it will work out perfectly every time as long as you give the number to represent you minus the bag from the total to represent which bag has the lighter coins in it.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm just gonna trust y'all.
From a mathematical perspective, it's perfect, but it's just amusing that it's designed in the safekeeping thing in case players go, I say it's this bag, and they're wrong.
Right. Exactly.
And then the bag shuffle around magically, and they have to try
Do it
again from
again.
scratch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
So yes.
Figure out.
So
Actually, the one to do with that one is if they do a random pick, it's going to be wrong.
Yeah.
That's how to be evil with that one.
Yeah.
But it's a class of things called balance puzzles, and there's a lot of different ones.
Okay.
Anyway,
So as you pick the right bag and declare that one, the scales and coins disappear.
oh poo,
Sad.
And you see the medallion of justice left behind.
dickunk. Oh, this was the light coin.
No more counting.
At which case, then the others
No.
can see you standing on the hillside.
That was forest. Yes. Actually, no, I will count it. 1. And it's got another side. Brilliant.
I say, oh, cool. You got it. Awesome.
Yep. I put it with the other ones.
And considering how late it is, your characters will most likely end up resting the night on that mountaintop.
Right, except there's no hilltop, is there?
You can see the
No, there is
hilltop now.
You can see
But
us
Oh,
on
the
the
hilltop's here
hillside.
for all of them. Okay, yep.
Once you found
we-
the key,
we
the
just did that.
trees disappeared.
Yeah, we just did that. We're standing on the hillside, which you can now see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been trying to figure out this math thing all night now.
After game,
I feel
just
like
get
I
Paul
feel like
to
if I
talk you
wrote
through
it
it.
down, it would make a lot more sense. But
As I said, after game, you can always ask Paul to.
exactly.
It's a very simple logic puzzle, but
Yeah.
it is beyond most people's ability to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I say most people, even I would have had trouble if I didn't know the solution.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm going to keep him a little later if he's agreeable to get more of the Mandarin stuff because I've done linguistics and I find that interesting.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So next morning.
Yes.
overnight you're visited by 3 pixies.
Oh, are they friendly? Because they're in a different section.
They are from a different section.
But
They're
they're,
friends.
but they're pixies, so if we greet them happily and
They like the
give them something sweet,
Generally,
Well, that's right. They probably greeted us.
I'm sure they find them tasty just like everything else.
But they'll eat the humans first, right?
A little salty.
Well, they've had
No,
humans.
they don't.
They've had humans to munch on all this time. Elves are different.
Just as a quick question, can the gnome make their illusion change to a race the pixies are like to eat last?
No idea.
Oh,
You can try.
And I'll stay with my 3 little gnomes, and hopefully we're just too small.
so you're not going to turn into an orc.
No, because they might eat me first.
No,
They like killing orcs.
No, they might kill you and then not eat you.
Well, yes. Either way, that would defeat the
would
purpose
be-
of saving my own.
Yes, it would be bad.
So, Llewell, while you're on watch at night,
I was going to say, remember, you probably also asleep at the time they arrived.
Yeah, there's that too. Yes. So, as I said, you greet them warmly, offer them
So-
something sweet.
unlike the sprites you saw earlier, you've got pixies this time.
Oh, they're different.
Ah,
Okay.
piskies.
Actual pixies, not the more militaristic sprites.
Yes.
So I believe we host them in here.
Well, the standard thing with any fae is you always treat them as the greatest of guests and the most welcome of visitors.
So there's the pixie version.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Whereas the other one was more militaristic.
Yeah.
Very cute. I like
So
it.
there you go, Ariadne. And that's for online people.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Okay, so they are tiny.
Yep.
And yes, they greet you while everyone else is sleeping. They say that their sprites told them about you.
Oh, that's fair enough. What did they say? Was it good? I hope so.
You are probably not good to eat.
No, we're
That was the
probably
first thing they started off with.
we think it's a pretty good start. If nothing else, I can't tell you jokes if you eat me.
Well, your spirit could.
Yeah, but my spirit's no good at jokes.
Well, then what's the point in keeping you alive then?
Because I'm good at jokes.
But your spirit's as good as you
Being alive makes a difference.
are. Nah, you're just joking.
See?
And I
Yeah.
demonstrate to you my prowess.
The undead have no sense of humour.
Oh, depends on the undead, they say.
It takes having emotions to have a proper sense of humour. And for that,
That's
you
true.
need to
You
be
can't laugh unless you're happy.
yeah, and for that, you need to be alive.
Let's face it, you can't be the life of the party if you're dead.
Did you say 3 pixies?
Yes.
Three pixies.
Yes. Is there any other reason for your visit, or is it just sort of high to be here?
Well,
I'm not that I'm complaining. I'm just asking.
Well, we were hungry, but we just thought we'd just stop by.
We could offer some of our rations, but I don't know if you'll eat it.
I might go for some of mine. Yes.
So, are you going to offer them?
Well, how
Exchange
how close to morning is it?
It's probably middle of the night.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
One of the darkest points.
Yeah. Well, if you were hungry, I do have some elven whey bread. Would you be interested in that at all?
Does it have meat in it?
It's made from meat.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the elven spell that I've got as a ceremony or ritual that extracts the food value from food. And yeah, quite happily do it with normal meals. It doesn't have to be vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, this has had rabbit and other things. So it's not just elven. It's not elven whey bread. It's elven concentrated meals.
So more meat.
It's concentrated meat.
Yes.
It's like
So you're saying the
it's
Dungeon
it's-
and Dragons equivalent of spam?
it's no, not spam. It's flavoured jerky. Because spam's not concentrated; it's just blocked.
Okay, so
This is distilled food.
Yes,
so
no, I get it.
when you give a piece of the
Yes.
pixies, you're extremely disturbed by their eating habits.
I'm so glad I'm asleep.
Yeah.
Why
There
do I
are-
feel like this pixie is just me in real life? Eats meat. Very disturbing eating habits.
Yeah.
For some reason, I now want to have dinner with you just to see how bad it actually is, or whether that's a self-perception.
It almost sounds like you're putting it through a one of those shredders.
A meat grinder.
Yes.
This is exactly what I want to be
Yes.
in life.
The table manners of a magpie with really small jaws, so they have to move fast.
Yes.
And basically, they get through jerky bigger than they are in seconds.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Yep.
You're sort of looking a bit surprised as I'm glad I wasn't holding on to it at the time because they might have gone through your fingers too.
Yeah, you might have lost a finger.
Yes. Yes.
And they wouldn't have noticed, or if they did notice, it'll be different meat, not your finger.
Flavouring! It's got blood on it.
Came with its own sauce.
Yes.
And then you'd probably lose your hand.
Yeah. I offer them some drink as well.
That they go, sure. Looking at you expectantly. At your arm.
No. Not blood.
Do you have an elven spell for magicking blood that's not yours?
No.
Yeah.
They go, but it tastes better.
Well, you agree not...
Beer is different.
What's
Yeah.
beer?
Try some. If you get them too drunk, though.
The blood of grain.
They sort of look at each other confused. You don't think they've ever had alcohol before?
No. And it'll be ale, not beer, so it'll be sweet. Or sweeter. They're not going to get much, mind you. Because, yes, they can consume a lot, but they're still only small body masses. We'll see if they like it.
Okay. Let's see how they like their alcohol. Okay, they seem to like it a lot. Wanting more.
You might have to ask some questions before you do that.
Too much will make you ill in your head, and you'll have headaches, and then you'll get irritable and probably eat the wrong thing.
You notice they are randomly appearing and disappearing at this stage.
I think you already had too much.
They might not understand that concept as opposed to
They
I've
may-
run out and need to make more. But then they might expect you to make more. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's a win in this conversation.
Not really. On the other hand, their metabolisms are so fast, they'll get to the hangovers really quickly, but it will also pass really quickly.
Yeah.
They may not actually have hangovers because it takes time.
I know a halfling in one of my other games who'd be very happy to have that skill.
I usually don't get hangovers.
Oh, I don't get hangovers in real life either.
Yeah.
I don't get drunk either.
Well, that's the thing. I used to drink actually rather a bit. Not all the time.
Yes,
but
they seem to be disappearing and reappearing for
I've
about
had
half
one
an hour
hangover.
or so.
Half an hour, okay. So, I would maybe
Yes.
ask them about the house and lizard key.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
See if they know
that's a good
anything.
start to things.
Okay. So that settled down after about the hour of popping in and out randomly.
Yes, they appear to be having fun. I will sing them happy songs while they're prancing about.
Okay, give me a perform.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing you have a high charisma.
Yes, it's a very good thing I have a high charisma that went all the way up to 13.
At least you don't insult them.
No.
It's really bad when the audience turns on you and eats you.
Fortunately, it only happens once. And if it's that bad, you probably welcome it.
Okay, so yes, they are all sitting around.
I died on stage. There was blood
Drunks are
everywhere.
always a receptive audience.
Yes.
And by the time they're all sitting down and you finish your song, you realise there's about 15 of them in the clearing.
Yeah.
All looking at you expectantly.
So I sing more songs.
Okay. Another roll.
Oh dear.
More beer?
Well,
Now you're
actually,
on Spirit of the Law.
this is the problem. Performance is not one of my trained skills.
Mm-hmm.
So you go.
I want to
Fortunately,
help. Can I just get my flute and play instead?
Well,
you
have you
could.
been woken yet?
yeah. Well, given it's been a while, I'm actually going
I've
to
got
sing.
first performance.
I'm actually going to sing loud enough to wake the next person whose watch is up.
I mean, but
Or
Nari
possibly-
being an elf,
or
and Nari
possibly
needs
nudge them.
it would probably be Nari because
Oh,
she
she'd see this
only
anyway.
needs to rest
Yeah.
for 4 hours anyway. So,
So
Yeah.
that would probably be when you've got your other elf on.
yeah. So
Yeah.
she'll probably be waking up.
Yep. So she'll see this and turn up, and you can join in. I got 15 that time, which is a bit better.
I rolled a 16 to my performance with my flute.
Yep.
Okay.
I
Cool.
like it.
Okay, so by the end of that performance, and you're getting You've probably already had your trance by this point.
Yeah.
There's about 40 odd pixies in the clearing.
What do we do with 40 pixies?
What do we do with 40 drunken pixies?
Some of them are sitting on fellow party members.
Do any of us wake up? Or?
No.
Yep.
No, they're very light and yeah.
And besides, they're not going to eat much.
Oh, much.
Depends on how hungry they get.
Only one cheek, that sort of thing. What do we do when they get bored?
Have you asked them about the keys yet?
Yeah. Well, this is the time to ask them about the keys when they're looking sort of expectant and waiting for the next song.
You can trade the next song on information.
Yes.
Like maybe I would like to sing more, but I need this first sort of deal. Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know how they'd respond to that, but you're an elf. You do.
Okay.
And
So what do you ask
asking questions. I will ask them if they know any stories or songs about a noted coin or key that looks like a coin, or if they just know anything about them. I will
see how
sing another
good they
song
remember.
once we have something out of that.
Okay. I'd say that they sort of shake their head and be a bit confused. Coin?
Key?
Coin?
I'll actually know which is
You've got them in your sack, don't you?
Yeah, yes, but if I hold one up, one of them's going to nick it.
They're like shiny.
Drawing?
Yeah.
They seem to not understand.
Yeah.
They also roll poorly on their understanding.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Well,
Is there a spell, just generally, that you can cast on less intelligent creatures to help them understand more?
To speak with animals.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
But they have to have animal intelligence.
It only works on animals. Yeah.
I was going to say, they probably have to be an animal.
You can't aid someone else's comprehension.
Yeah, well,
unfortunately.
yeah, that'd be kind of good if you eventually could.
Sort of you can, because you can increase somebody else's wisdom.
Yeah.
or
You can also increase their intelligence, but it's basically enhance ability.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's a moderately high level spell.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah, it can be.
outside of game.
Yeah, it can be done, but it's not the sort of thing you would normally do. Especially since they have to be willing to accept the spell, which then involves persuading them why you need to do it, which involves their comprehension without a boost.
Well, you could tell them it could lead to more songs or ale, and they probably.
Yeah.
Does Nari have prestidigitation?
Actually, I have minor illusion.
Well, I was
So
thinking
I can give her an
prestidigitation. You could. It's a cantrip, so you could do it. Illusion of the coin.
Yeah, well, I've got minor illusion. I can give them a detailed.
So minor
image
illusion
of it.
is a more detailed version, whereas the prestidigitation is a lot vaguer.
Yeah, that would give you something that looks like it's coin shaped.
Coin shape. Okay.
Yeah, and it would be very smoky.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing to remember
just
is prestidigitation will do something that
I
another
found
spell
what I was looking before.
Yeah.
Because it's cantrip, right?
Well,
So
minor
after
illusion's a cantrip.
can I please say that I pay attention? As part of my urbanologist, if I activate my urbanologist powers, or the urbanologist apprentice, I can actually use my elder specialization. So I prepare any one spell from the cross list as a known spell, which means that I can replace one of my known spells that way.
I know
And
you
I
don't
can replace
replace.
one of the-
You don't replace. You gain one while you've got the power active.
Okay. So the one that I can use that to do latent.
And that would reduce your maximum hit points by 2.
Yes, although I do have an object that can lower my spell burn at one point. So that would be one.
No, because unfortunately each time you do it, uses 1. It's 1 point to get the manifestation up, and 1 point to get the specialization.
Okay.
So
And
if
how does the magical object that decreases so burn by 1?
so,
I can use it a number of times as my proficiency bonus for every long rest.
which one's that one? Sorry, I'll have to look it up to make sure the wording of it.
So,
It may be
So-
minus. It may be reduced by 1 to a minimum of 1, which means it won't affect something that is one soul burn point.
I'll just,
That's a supposition, mind you.
Yeah.
let me just find exactly. Gosh, there's so many things.
Yeah, that's why I need to ask to be specific about some of these things.
Let me just open the other link. But basically, it's, I have like, I'm supposed to choose one of 5 objects. One is a book. So between the book and the wand. And they cause 1 less soul burn when I use. And it says you can use the maximum of the number of your proficiency bonus per long rest. I'll find exactly the section. It's one of the artifacts that I get to choose. That's exactly the name.
What was the name of it?
Gosh, I was reading that earlier today.
Should have put a post-it note on it.
Yeah. I find
No,
that useful.
It's because the character sheet is so long, and some of those powers are never used.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, that's the wrong one. Okay. Level 6, I get the Wizard Apprentice bonus. I choose an attend book, familiar, or bring a sparkle wand, and gain the following properties. Right?
Okay, give me a sec. I'll open up your character. If it's on your character, that's different. So you said at level 4 or
Level 6.
level 6? Okay. The Elvenologist is not a secret craft of thought. So
Sorry, let me
it
check.
does not work
So is
with
that mana or energy?
It is but the thing is, if you picked book, each of the crafts have different
No, I
things.
haven't checked. I haven't picked an item yet.
I'll check out and see what's actually on there for it, because I think something has been down as selected.
No, it hasn't been selected. That's the thing. I only noticed. Okay,
You
let
have
me just
Familiar of
open it.
Matter down. I'm just checking what Elvenologist falls under. So you follow Ilsundal, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. And what is...
Energy sphere.
So it's energy for Ilsundal. It is different depending on which god you follow. Ilsundal's also one of the magic gods.
Yes.
But not all the elven gods are the magic gods.
No.
So you had selected familiar when you had actually done it. As noted down.
So how do I turn it then?
Now let's see, in your secret crafts, you have Elvenologist as energy. You have 4 of them down as energy and 1 of them down as thought. So your Chaos Sphere is, Chaosologist is done as thought, based on the god of thought that does it. Because each of the god has a specific connection to the different spheres.
Yep.
So unfortunately you can't reduce the soul burn of using those by that class aspect, because they don't match up.
Yeah.
What's soul burn?
That is reducing your maximum hit points permanently.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you can get them back, but it takes downtime weeks.
Yeah.
And it's listed as
that's
permanent
fine.
instead of using magic to bring it back.
Yeah.
Because that's more
Not
temporary.
true.
Yeah.
Points. Okay.
Yeah, so it would use
Well,
up 2 of
it's-
your points to do so.
Yeah. Well, it's persuading the god to heal you of the damage you've taken using his power directly.
Yes.
It's not magical at all.
Yeah.
So that means
Yeah.
you have a plus 10 on your check to do so, and you need to roll at least a 6 on the roll to gain the ability, but you spend the hit point regardless.
Okay.
If you roll a 1, bad stuff happens. If you roll a 20, good stuff happens.
This is good for me to know because I don't think I've seen this done before.
No way. God damn it.
What did you
I was thinking. I was like, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen at all.
It does
I was
happen.
like, no, right.
Well, 1 in 20 roll.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. Good time for it though. Yeah. We have had Jeremy
Yeah.
used.
Okay, so on rolling a
Which is
natural
super powerful
20,
one.
manifesting your Elvenologist effect does not cost you anything. That's
Ooh.
one of the
Really?
benefits of doing so. That's why I actually say
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah. So your attempt to reduce the soul burn cost worked.
It works.
Even though it didn't work in the normal way, and it does mean that your next roll to do the enhancement gaining the spell, you get advantage on that roll.
Yep.
Cool.
Because the elves give you advantage on it. So you roll two dice to get above 6. Well, 6 or above.
Yeah.
Okay. One was 12 and the other was 18.
So you win.
So
18.
as long as one of them made it over 6, then because you get to add 10 to the dice roll to make it to 16.
Yep.
Then the effect
Yeah.
happens, and you could have learnt the lay sense spell.
So that's only while my secret craft, like my
Until
is active. Right?
Until you take a long rest, you can choose at the end of the long rest to spend 1 point, 1 permanent hit point, not a roll, to keep it going.
Yeah. You can maintain it at will. Yeah.
But that's at the end of a long rest.
Yes. It lasts that long. This one's cool.
Now, I'd rather just do take advantage now that we are blocked by the god.
And that's him.
So you only reduce your hit points by 1 for that one.
Yeah. That's a friend of mine. It's
Yep.
just
As this is an important thing for you, it's not that bad to do. So yes, you managed to get yourself lay sense as a spell.
Woohoo!
nice.
Did you want to have done that before you left the city?
I would have liked, but it's okay if you prefer that I do it where I
If
am.
it does now, yeah.
There is a reason for me asking that question.
Okay, so pretend that I remember that during when we were still in the city.
Because it does have a limitation of 5 miles.
Ah.
And you travelled more than 5 miles in a day.
Yeah.
So yes, you cast it on that morning before you leave the city. And you do sense that there is a single ley line coming out from the city heading south.
What direction are we going at the moment?
You are now going east.
Potentially.
We just came from the south.
Yeah.
Essentially, the tower is
You
built
head towards the
around
White
the
Tower.
tree.
So we are going in the direction of the tower, correct?
No, you. The south is the direction of the tower. The way the lane line is pointing is where they said the tower was.
Right.
We're going in towards Green first.
So, if I understood correctly, the tower is supposed to be, oh my gosh,
South of the city, south of the Griffin Fields.
in what part of the forest? Like what
Beyond the
season?
forest, potentially.
It's beyond where most of the other animals go.
Okay, thank you. Right, so I don't forget.
It's all good. So yes, you wake up in the morning to be surrounded by a bunch of pixies, considering they've been asking various questions.
What questions have they been asking?
Well, you have been asking them about their keys and about coins,
showing
showing them
coin,
things, and so I'm going to give them another roll to see if they actually.
Okay, given what they're talking about now, I'm going to have to illustrate my stories using minor images and prestidigitation. Fortunately, I've got a bunch of useful cantrips for doing that sort of thing.
Okay, so after asking them lots and lots and lots of questions, you realise that you've gotten far less out of them than you've expended on the entire time you've been there.
On the other hand, they haven't eaten us.
No, they haven't.
That is the benefit that you got out of this conversation. They did not eat you.
Exactly. Yes. Plus, keeping a bunch of them entertained so they're not bothering everybody else has got to be good for our reputation. Come on, think about how much havoc 40 pixies could have spread around the forest.
Well, there is a reason not many things cross the paths.
Yeah, because pixies. Hey,
Carnivorous pixies.
Yeah, the sprites would love us. You kept the pixies away from us. Brilliant!
Well, you know they have some sort of parlay, and now you know why they're so warlike.
Yeah, because pixies.
And when morning comes up, the pixies all disappear.
Okay. I wave to them anyway. Because there's a good chance they just went invisible rather than leaving.
They do that a lot. It doesn't take many pixies to curse people.
No, it doesn't. Including, I will stay with you forever, anything you get me. And chew on everyone you like. Because a pixie would do that.
Well, just imagine what happened if you had a pixie familiar.
Please don't.
Would it be similar to the chaos that the Axbeak causes Zal?
No, it would make the Axbeak look like it was a saint.
So she could upgrade to a pixie?
Yeah.
You know the New Zealand parrot that rips bits off cars? Yeah, pixies.
Yep. They also rip bits off lots of other things.
Oh, yeah.
They're very...
And they look so child and saint-like.
They're kind of like the border collie of avian creatures. If they get bored, they can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, well, the thing is, they're used to ripping things off because they're used to doing things like stripping things to get to the seeds inside. So, of course, stripping the rubber bits off car windows is just something they do.
Windscreen wipers, roof racks. lots of things. Yeah.
Oh no, I've actually seen someone take the rubber off a window and the window fall in, and then it got in and started eating their picnic.
Yep. I've seen that on documentaries as well.
Yes.
They learn.
Pixies.
Yeah. Possibly worse, actually.
Well, yes, because one, carnivorous, two, malicious,
At least.
or potentially malicious.
And 3, they have normal hands.
Yes.
Yeah. they have opposable thumbs.
They have opposable thumbs and human
Yeah.
strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pixies, bad juju. Really bad juju.
Well, I love
I
playing the
consider
Fae
that-
up as actual Fae and not just
no, it's the best way to do
Friends
it.
of the Forest.
It's the only way to no. Actually, the only friend of the forest my party has ever met, any of my parties have ever met, hasn't been a Fae. It's been a sentient bear.
Yeah.
With a parrot familiar, so he's got something that does hand impressions.
Yeah. I'd say then your accomplishment of keeping them distracted is a significant one.
So, come morning, you see there are 2
feel
paths.
quite accomplished.
One going east and one going north, which wasn't visible in the dusk. Though that might have just been the pixies.
Or it could be the light on top of day.
You said one
Either
north
way,
and one
we've got
further
2
east?
paths.
Yeah,
There's another one that goes further east. You can see the path that you came up going back west.
Yeah.
Are the pixies still there when we notice the paths?
No, they're not.
Okay.
They disappeared as the moment everyone else started waking up.
Okay, happy with that.
So they tell us about this pixie party, and I'm just like, what the heck?
And there's little footprints everywhere on everyone, little bits of discarded food. It's basically the whole place is a mess. It looks like a rave has gone through here for miniature people. There's sparkles everywhere.
I love that.
Yes. We're going to see this forever at this point.
I'm just saying.
Unless
when Lonnie
people have got
dies, we
specific
incarnate
preference.
her soul as a pixie.
Yeah, we're going that
That's
way.
exactly what she wants.
Left is always right, so we'll go north.
Wait, what? What?
It's the tribesman. This logic works for him.
This is the tribesman, and there have been pixies.
Lord, man.
Okay. We've been travelling east,
Yes.
therefore the north path is to the left,
Yes.
and left is always right.
Correct.
This is too early in the morning for Lonnie. Lonnie's just gonna mark the north.
I was going to say, you need your coffee.
And you sort of have to clear out the whatever stuff got stuffed in your ear overnight.
Whatever trash they left in there.
Yes. Here's some seeds. I found them buried up a tree.
I know, right?
Just to see how she reacts. Because, hey, pine nuts.
Was the spell that cleans the cord prestigitation? Yeah. That'd be handy to have at this moment.
Yes.
Presuming it clears things stuffed in ears.
Well, make it fall out at least.
Yeah.
Mm.
Lonnie walks on.
Yeah.
You're the undying. You've had worse experiences.
Yes.
So each of the party members all sparkle.
I don't mind.
Lonnie's
This is
100%
normal.
for this.
Actually, this is normal for both.
I was going to say, if you've been in the vicinity of my bombs, you'll likely still have glitter on you because that shit never gets old.
Hey, this sparkle's different to this sparkle.
Yeah, yeah.
Out of amusement, the only person not sparkling is Drizzle.
I'm sad for Drizzle.
I offered a sparkle Drizzle.
Yeah. Have you polished your scales
You know,
recently?
inclusion.
You're looking a little dull.
Oh, he says he's allergic to pixies.
Yeah, yeah.
And pixies are going to be allergic to you, I'm presuming.
What a grump.
He shrugs, said that they only bite me once.
they learn real
Yeah,
quick.
well, you only bite them once.
No, they only bite him once.
No,
And
both.
he only
Both
bites
ways.
them
They
once.
bite him once, and he responds by biting them once, and he's got much bigger teeth than they do.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably been a
For
couple
him,
of
a bite
them
is,
there.
is the entire pixie.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, is it technically a bite or just like a
If-
gulp?
Well, the jaws close. It's a bite.
Semantics.
Yeah. It's a bite and a swallow, and it's all done.
I used to be an editor. Semantics is my thing.
Yes, I am an editor. I do this.
Well, technically I'm
But-
an editor still. I'm
I
just
was
not
gonna say.
professionally employed by one on a regular basis.
Yes.
Heading north about half a day to the north, you see a clearing off to the side, to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a small house is there. In a small little small cottage in the middle of a peaceful clearing with flowers growing in the windows and a white fence.
So evil. Oh,
In
come
a
on,
tree
that's
near the
trope.
house, a dozen multicolored birds gently sing a familiar tune.
This is like just Disney.
And it sounds like a young maiden singing is coming from the house.
So this is exactly the gingerbread house in Hansel and Gretel. Everything to attract in their
Does it have
prey.
the oven?
And there are 7 dwarven-sized backpacks. Look like dwarven maid sitting outside.
She's been eating dwarves.
So
What are the other keys we're looking for?
Sorry.
house and lizard. So this
Yeah.
is likely
Okay.
house.
So
This
this
is
is
probably
probably
house.
This is very housey. Yes.
With that, I will get behind Lul, shove him forward, because I have this reaction with houses in this area of being a little zappy.
So you're going to test the house by flinging me at it.
Oh, I'm just gonna put you forward so that you're going first.
Picks me up and says, "Hluel, I choose you," and throws me over the fence. No.
That would work.
A non-lethal version of that, I would suggest.
Well, that's the way she said
throw.
throws over the fence instead of throws on the fence.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I was aiming to do a stealthy circuit of the perimeter of the clearing, to actually go around the house and have a look at anything from the other side and things like that.
I'm happy to give you advantage on your stealth, considering Lani and Luel are creating one of the best attractions ever.
Yes.
Inside.
Advantage didn't make much difference because it was 9 and 9.
It was meant to be.
Okay,
Yes.
9 and 9 plus 9.
So 18.
So yes, Luel lands with an acrobatics roll.
I know how to spell it, but that's about it with acrobatics. We'll see how
There's a lack
that
of dwarves around here, so whoever else tossing.
Yes. Which far more, especially since I'm a foot taller than she is.
That's why
Yeah,
it's
you're
fine.
still lighter.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're
well,
still lighter.
you're yeah. Well,
Pretty bulky.
yeah.
She's muscles.
You got the muscles.
I'm ripped.
Yeah. What's your weight listed?
Great question.
Lots.
I don't think if they're really talk about it too much, does it?
Fifth Ed doesn't
No.
really care about it too
No,
much.
but I put height and weight down, and yeah, I'm really tall, and quite slender for my height. Still, 180 pounds for 7 foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Slender.
don't think we listed, but what I'm like.
Yeah,
Five,
often if
two?
it's looks like.
5'2", but you still might be 200 pounds at 5'2".
Dang, that's really
hold on,
bulky.
5'2" and 200 pounds. That's
It's
built like a
probably-
dwarf.
I was gonna say probably
She-
a little bit
she's-
more like
What's your
maybe
strength?
150, 175.
Yeah,
Uh,
150
to be honest,
sounds
I
about
was
right.
15.
5'2"
Yeah.
and
She's also a sailor and
Yeah.
someone who is used to using
she's
all
not-
her muscles.
I
yeah,
was gonna
Yeah.
say she's not necessarily. She's more like weightlifter
yeah.
Yeah.
muscles.
Take
Well,
into
that's what I was
account
So not
going to say. Back
necessarily
in my
skinny.
fit
Take
days,
into
I
account
could
the
lift like
strongest woman in the
160
world.
kilos.
Yeah,
is a
Ages
little taller
and
than
ages
Lani
and ages ago.
yeah,
and is about 160.
Okay, so say about 160.
yeah. About
So,
and
that. So see,
what's your
Yeah.
acrobatics roll?
yeah, I think she's built like a weightlifter. That's
Yeah.
the idea.
All muscle, not actual weight.
Yeah, so not very lean though.
3.
That's the total.
Okay, so yes, you
I didn't roll one.
you watch as you go here. Let me, as Luel
I
goes.
go,
See how he's stretched out on the grass on the other side of the fence.
Yes.
Looks like he's splattered down.
You were
Yes.
supposed to roll. Tuck and roll.
Tuck.
Perhaps if you'd given
He sort of
him
rolls
warning.
onto his side at that time.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. She
You're
said roll,
honing
so I
his,
did.
reaction skills.
I'm also pretty dexterous for myself, so like
I'm
I just assume people know.
I'm sorry. As an acrobat, I make a great spellcaster.
It's really funny.
My dex bonus is higher than 0, even more.
It's a bonus.
I've got a bonus on my
That
dex.
still didn't stop you from landing on your face, though.
I'm rolling a d20 and adding a 1. I rolled a 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep.
I went splotch.
Everyone
Probably-
has their off moments.
Probably in something muddy.
No, it's actually quite soft.
Oh.
Probably a
No,
nice-
I
nice
realised
green
soft,
place.
but she may have just watered it or something.
It's not muddy at
No.
all. It's a nice
Oh.
soft landing.
Oh, well, just undignified.
Just
And
a
you get up
very-
and you've got all these yellow patches all over you from the flowers.
Precipitation?
Too slow.
Oh.
Because it's only 1 square foot at a time.
Oh, okay.
So, dink, dink,
Yeah.
dink, dink.
Yeah, it take for
If you're 7 odd foot tall, I guess that's
it's
7 goes.
it's gonna take square foot's this size.
Yeah, well, that's what I
It's-
mean. Several
It's
goes.
gonna take about a minute.
So,
Yeah.
then you eventually get it done.
Just
Yeah.
go with it. You
Pop,
look
pop,
bright
pop,
and
pop.
friendly.
I know that's the thing, isn't it? Well, amusing them is going to be part of. Yeah,
I'll also
whatever.
approach the fence line.
Yep.
Just to be nice and be like, you get like just to kind of help him up, I guess.
Yeah,
And
I
just make
le-
sure he's okay. Do I enter in okay?
I lean.
You step over fine.
I lean over.
Perfect.
I lean over the fence as she approaches it. I didn't get zapped.
I was assuming that you wouldn't get zapped. That's why I sent you.
Well, then how is that actually a logical test? Because if he never gets zapped,
Because
that's
she
not
wanted
a
to-
reason.
No,
Because
because
she wanted
if
to
he
throw me
gets
because it was funny.
through- If he gets through, then he can get the rest of us. He can
I
turn
was
off whatever zappy thing and then get the
going-
rest of us through.
To
Okay.
walk through the garden
So
gate.
did you step over the fence before or after you'd seen him do the thing he does to stop zappiness?
Before.
Okay, so, all right, yeah. It's amusing. I just,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, at least you didn't step over then throw him. He might have hit the house that way.
Might have also been slightly retribution for waking up with tiny footprints all over her.
Yeah.
So-
I
That's all
didn't
good.
do that. I stopped
didn't
them
blame
eating
him.
you.
He just happened to be on watch when I got little footprints all over me. So
At least your hair hadn't been braided individually and across your skull.
that'd be really funny. That'd be really cool.
You hear the sound of clapping from behind you. Lots of clapping.
Yeah, so they're all behind us somehow.
I bow to the pixies that are watching.
who now have the idea what to do tonight.
Oh no!
That's gonna be.
It's always great when players give the NPCs
Oh, yeah.
far more fodder.
Yes. Oh, feeding the GM. Yeah.
Great idea.
Yes.
That's what he gets out of this relationship.
It's why you do it.
Oh, if you can't laugh.
Oh.
Really funny.
Oh, plus players come up with ideas for things in general. I ran a 6 sessions worth of story off one person's throwaway line during a discussion before a game started.
Yeah, a lot of players have
yeah.
done that.
So with that, helping roll up,
Yes.
I'll kind of indicate to the rest of the party that they can also come on over. But I'll say, should we try to see, because we could have heard the singing and stuff.
Is there anyone laughing inside, having seen
Oh,
this
good
through
question.
the front window?
No change.
No. Okay.
No change.
I'll go and politely knock on the front door.
Okay, while he's doing that, do you want to look at the packs?
Yes.
They've all got skulls in them. No.
I would carefully examine it so that I'm not being entirely intrusive. So
So you
I
scale the
wouldn't.
fence as well?
Do I have to scale it?
Well, yes, because it's enough that you have to climb over it because you're shorter.
Is there no gate?
Well,
There is a gate, but no one's opened it yet.
I was going to say, is there a
No,
gate?
no, so
Because,
that's the thing. I was going to walk through it, but she got to me first.
I would go to the gate and see if that opens for me.
Okay, it doesn't open for you.
Okay. I then ask Lani to lift rather than throw me over.
Well, you could just open
I'll
it.
go try to open the
It's
gate.
just not opening on its own.
No, so...
Yeah, yeah.
The wording you used.
2 hours sleep, guys. 2 hours sleep.
Yeah, you're good, you're
And
good.
Mum.
Yes.
So there are automatic doors in this
Sometimes
setting.
I'm being... Yeah. I
Yes.
try to open the gate.
Okay. Give me a thievery roll.
Ooh.
Okay. I don't
The
think
gate-
I've got any specialist to
the gate
thievery,
comes off in
and
your
it's a
hand.
6.
It's a 6. Okay, you start fiddling with the latch and nothing much happens.
Okay.
From my side, can I open the gate?
Sure, give me a thievery roll.
Oh dear.
Interesting.
Do any of us have anything that would aid in
Natural
thievery?
20.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. There's this snapping sound as you somehow break the lock and get the gate open.
That sounds about right, though. I feel bad. I didn't want to
Well,
open it, but...
And there's a gasp from the surrounding trees.
You could ask our resident artificer to fix it.
Yeah,
Yeah, technically I could
I
tinker
was
that.
like,
Yeah.
I just in general and to the latch, I was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. I'll try to fix it.
Do I have to roll to fix it?
Sure.
Yes.
What
I'm
do I
thinking of
add,
that
if
as
anything, to that?
Think
What
that
do you think?
is.
Very good.
15.
I like that one.
I have to quickly look at your character.
I just don't know which one it would be. Would it be Dex?
That's why I wanted to look at your character, because you have skills, and if I pick the right skill, I don't have to tell you without knowing.
Yeah.
Okay, here we
Yeah.
go. Skills. You have
Animal, Arcana,
+6
engineering.
from your tools.
Yeah, so 21.
Okay. So yes, you tinker and you put together a repaired lock.
Yep.
Not quite the same as the other one, because the other one didn't have any visible components.
You know, you probably could have grabbed one out of the dwarven backpack. They're probably carrying him.
Possibly, but as we don't know who these dwarves are as yet, I do not want to start off by them misinterpreting my curiosity and need for information as straight out stealing from their backpacks.
Yeah.
You think they might misjudge your looting?
Yeah.
You mean
no,
a
technically
No.
I'm taking notes right now like
No, no.
Drazzle, so it's archaeology.
Not misjudge, correctly judge.
You mean I shouldn't click to the page called mimic?
You could, but I'm not actually touching the backpack.
It's
So
not like I flicked to the page called mimic.
I know, right?
do I notice anything particular about the backpacks? I'm just
Well, they look dwarven design.
okay.
And so, considering you didn't get to opening your backpack, so you were opening the gate, Luell, you stepped into the room.
Alright.
Yes.
So he knocks
I
on the
knock.
door and it opens.
The door opens.
Yep.
It's dim inside. You can't really see very far.
Yes. I will
Do you have dark vision?
greet and got low light. Actually, it is dark vision because they don't make the distinction anymore.
Oh no, they still have the
Yes,
distinction.
still have
elves-
Low light allows you to see in dim conditions
Yeah, I know.
if it's light. Dark
Yeah.
vision allows you to see with lack of light.
I'm just checking
so,
to see
yeah,
which one.
because dark vision is.
Dark vision is usually dwarves.
Yeah, I've got dark vision though.
So
So
you should have dark vision as well.
yeah, I've
Should be
got
low light
60
vision.
No, it should be
feet
low light.
of
Oh, is it?
dark vision.
It's the shadow elves that have dark vision.
Uh,
So if he does have dark vision, that would explain things.
So
That would it?
as
Yeah.
Luel enters, I would probably come up to the door and look in.
You're busily working on the lock at this stage.
Oh, okay, yep. All right.
Can't do everything at
No,
once.
no.
I'm
It's not
watching-
necessarily clear.
I'm watching to do the lock.
Great.
'Cause I
I
feel bad.
just trying to point out where everyone is.
But I allow.
So while Luell is walking into the door, what is
I'm not walking.
Ne-
I'm standing there and looking in and going,
Yeah.
"Hi."
what
And
is
my-
Nia and the tribesman doing?
It actually lists as dark
The
vision.
tribesman was doing his circuit of the cottage to
Yeah.
to reconnoitre first.
So it'd just be Neray, I guess.
So what is Neray doing?
I do need to check this.
starting to mute myself.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I saw that happen. A couple clicks.
Yes.
It was off on, off on.
I'm just observing. I just feel like this is.
Let
I don't know what
the
to
other
think of
elf
this.
die.
I want to see what's going to happen as well.
Hopefully not.
Okay. Llewell hears a voice saying, "You may enter."
Thank you very much.
Is it a female voice?
It is female voice.
Girl dwarves.
Oddly, it seems
All
it
Snow
doesn't
White.
have night vision.
That is odd.
Elves have dark vision.
Yes.
Accustomed to the twilight forest and the night sky, you have superior vision in dark and dim conditions. You can see in dim light within 60 feet as if it was bright, and in darkness as if it was dim.
Yep.
But you can't discern colour in darkness.
Yep.
Which is, I think that's going to be the same
Which is-
for all of them. Actually, got rid of
Yeah.
light vision.
Yeah. They got rid of the distinction between low light and dark vision,
And
Yeah.
merge them.
and they've
They
merged
merged it
them.
into dark vision.
So you've got the distinction between dim light
Yeah,
and
other
no light, but you've got dark vision for the low light part of it,
Yeah.
for the darker part.
Okay, so you
So yeah,
step
it doesn't
into
make it. It's no difference.
Do you step into the cottage?
Given that I've now had time enough to see inside, what do I see before I step in?
Smokiness. Seems smoky inside.
Okay.
There is
What's
our-
the smoke smell like?
Ooh, good question.
Why is the smoke singing?
The smoke smells like home.
Ah,
You do have the other elf just standing by.
yeah.
Outside the fence, safely.
Being, yeah. Yes.
So, with that, do you
Very nice, yeah.
invite
I-
Nine or...
I will look over my shoulder.
Mhm.
Just to catch your eye. I'm not going to suggest that you join, but sort of implied. And I'll step inside.
Okay. You step inside, still glancing over your shoulder as you step inside.
Now I'm going to step forward as I walk in because accidentally stepping on someone would be a bit of a gaffe.
Well, as you step inside, you feel the door shut behind you. Oh, dink!
Okay.
And it all goes dark.
Dark even for me.
Yep.
Okay.
Dark, no sight whatsoever.
I try and make a light using my light spell.
Yep.
And nothing happens.
Magical darkness.
You can feel the spell will go off. The
I
spell's
just can't
there.
see it. Right, so I've been blinded.
And outside you see the windows of the Heart go dark.
You were right. The hut itself is the trap.
That would be the mimic.
This is where we feed it booze. I've always loved making friends with mimics.
Yeah, but normally you don't make them from the inside out.
With alacrity and some good rolls. And some really good booze.
Okay, so outside you're walking. You reach near on the outside, and you see the door go shut.
Okay. Was there... Okay, so have you done a full circuit of the cottage? Or am I halfway around, or...
Full circuit by that stage. It's not a huge cottage.
Okay. Were there any back doors? How many windows? Like,
There's only one window in each wall, including the front and the door in the front.
Okay. And so, implying with one window in each wall, likely only a single room in the cottage then too.
Yep.
There's a look.
Okay. What's the roof made of?
Seems to be made of straw.
So it might be the 7 little pigs with Snow White.
The seven dwarves with Snow White, yeah.
Okay, so you go and inspect the bags that you were planning to?
No.
Does the gnome go and inspect the bags like he was planning to?
Have I seen the door shut?
You have seen the door shut.
Do I have any kind of spells that would allow me to investigate
Ooh.
magic?
There's a shadow.
Some of you will have detect magic.
Yep.
Yeah, me.
the one that is inside the dark house.
So was the Titan in a position to see Lure enter and the door shut behind him?
Not at the time he entered.
Did he hear the door close?
He did hear the door close.
So he's come back around, and if anyone's still outside the fence, he'll say...
Only one of them is outside the fence.
Who came out to open the door?
If I see the Triton, I'll say, Lure's gone in and the door's shut behind him. Just gonna have a quick look at my...
Is this like going into the tent of the Tiger?
Yes.
You get spells as well, but the spells normally go into the items you make.
Okay. Because I know I've got some things that I can do on the spot. I can do Flash of Genius, which I think allows me to come up with solutions under pressure.
Yes, the original. Much prettier.
Which would have helped with the coins and the...
Yeah. I don't know if it's necessarily here. I'm just looking for whatever my equivalent to detect magic type deal is. If I do the clockwork toy and send him in through the door after I open it, if I can open it, can I see through that toy or no? Okay, here. Where's it?
It's just a mechanical toy at that stage.
We all walked into the cottage in the same way people walked into the werewolf's tent, the Red Tiger's tent. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah.
It's one of the problems with being a diplomat. You're first into the thing with big teeth.
Okay, so
in that case, then the guy's going to move forward and
that's what the rest of the
Could
party
I
do.
just do an arcane knowledge check?
open the door.
so you go and try to open the door.
Yep.
Give me a athletics check.
15 plus... Total of 18.
Okay, you seem to be unable to open the door. It's a little too strong for you.
Stuck in place? Okay.
In seeing him struggle with that, I tell him, move over, and I'll
My
try
go.
myself. I highly doubt I'm going to do better than that.
Nimbly
Oh, rather nice.
jump on the windowsill and climb up onto the roof.
Okay.
I got a modified 20.
Gonna modify 20. The door doesn't move.
I do it again, even though I know I will fail.
Okay. So you spend some time outside there, and then we'll go to inside the house.
Oh,
Right.
17.
You feel a ton
Um,
tasting you. I'm
Yes.
so
As soon
tasty.
as Lane coming in,
Yeah.
the guys are eventually going to go for leaping up off the windowsill up onto the roof.
Okay, you climb up onto the roof. You do notice there's no chimney.
Okay, and then I'm going to go on the questions. So that time now, I'm on the roof.
Okay, so now back to inside the thing, going back to when the door shut on the wall and everything went dark.
Yes. Sigh.
You then see what appears to be a circle of light ahead of you,
Mm-hmm.
with a table and some chairs.
Don't need
Don't go into the light. Stay away from
What
the
looks to be
light.
at least 200-300 feet away.
Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be a long way. Yeah. I walk to the edge of the light, but not into it.
Mm-hmm.
What do I see there?
You see 2 chairs, a small little table, a little decanter of what appears to be some fine wine in it, with 2 little glass or crystal goblets.
Oh, dear.
But no one else there.
Right. Step forward and sit down.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you
Don't
see,
drink anything.
you see the decanter rise up and a drink pours for you.
Thank you, I say, not drinking any of it.
And some pours into the other one, and then you see the other one rise up, and the other seats start drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Is the wine disappearing?
It's disappearing before it
Mm-hmm.
reaches the seat. Says, why are you here?
Tree of Life mission.
To save a life.
To save a life. Whose life?
Everyone's. Well, all the elves.
But why do I want to save all the elves?
Why do they, or why does he want to
said-
save?
They said, why do I want to save all the
Oh,
elves?
okay, so they're referring to themselves.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, yeah.
I always try not to make that a point.
Well, I thought
Yeah.
it worthwhile making a point because you keep picking me up on my language.
I know, but it was, Paul's character there at the moment.
Yes.
Well, I was also trying to understand the context of the
All good. We'll move on.
statement.
I also missed part of it, so getting it reiterated was useful. Because large-scale loss of life is bad in itself. So doing things to stop that is useful. Plus, quite a lot of those people that are going to be harmed are my family members. And harming family is also, and on top of the other, a bad thing.
And then the female voice also says, and what is this to me?
I don't know. What is it to you? What could it be for you?
She does not know. That's why she's asking you.
I guess you can't call humanity because no one likes humanity here.
Elfanity.
Yeah, elfanity, compassion.
So what creatures are involved in profanity?
Yeah.
Profit-based creatures.
If
I was going to say, is that what uni students call their professors?
profs.
No, just that profanity of all the...
Oh yeah.
That sounds like a really bad improv show put on by professors at a community college or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would absolutely go to that.
Yes, you would,
Absolutely,
because it's
yeah.
just so bad.
Sounds amazing.
Definitely will.
Okay,
It's
anyway.
the Sharknado
Anyway,
of
back to it.
academia.
Yes. Okay. Oh dear. Yeah. I would actually use history to remember the philosophical arguments
Sure. Give me a history roll
for
as you do.
this.
Because
I've read this stuff. I've read this stuff, but it's not something I've got easy to mind.
give me a history roll.
Can I keep? It's
Yes.
not bad.
It's technically out of your tree, so
Okay.
Really?
1 point better.
Hey!
if you have a simple thing of if you're rolling in certain areas and it goes out of that,
It
just
doesn't
simplifies
count.
things.
Yeah, you should find
No,
out.
that's fine. I didn't complain when he said, so that's
No,
fine.
no, I
And
just
it
didn't realise it was a rule.
and it doesn't. Well,
It's a,
it's functionally it was cocked.
yeah.
it's
It just happened.
What?
Which means it wasn't flat.
It was a cocked
Oh,
die. So it,
okay.
it
Yeah.
just happened to be cocked, so the top edge was level.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing is, it went from a 14 to a 15, so I'm better off.
Yeah, no, I
So
just
what's your
didn't
history
know
roll?
it was a thing. That's all.
22.
22. Okay, as you start having the philosophy, the person you're talking to seems to be making better points than those you read in response. That it does almost sound as if a professor's giving the counterpoint,
If
giving you an idea they might have either read the same material you read.
or she's done this the odd few times with other people with higher knowledge than myself.
Or possibly wrote it, yes.
Or
maybe
obviously, Claw can belong and the elf should die.
And
That's not an ethical position that I'm willing to hold,
you think you
given my alignment.
You think you had a very good discussion with her about that, but she does end it and say, what makes you deserving of saving them?
Deserving of saving them.
Yes. She does that. She says that's rather specifically.
Yeah.
Nobody else will.
Okay. To clarify on the wording, You're asking me why I deserve to have you save them.
No,
Is that correct? Or
her wording is, why do you
yeah, that's the
personally
thing.
have
The actual wording is a little confusing.
why do you deserve the right to save them?
Okay.
And she does say at that point, the last person who answered that didn't leave.
Is this one of those
I was
cases where
going to assume
saying
that.
you don't, but you have to?
Yes, that's what I was going to do. Because
Because it seems like there's no right answer to
No, there
something
isn't.
like that.
There are a lot of wrong answers.
Yeah.
there are a hell of a lot of wrong answers.
Yeah.
The only right answer is to say, well, I don't, but it's something I'm doing. It's something I have to do. And
Something that has to be
I'm
done.
going to do what needs to be done. If you consider that worthy of aiding, supporting, or not getting in the way of, then that's up to you. It's not up to me to make that decision.
Okay. And you see one of the coins on a necklace laid on the table beside you, with a bit of a sound of hissing coming from that direction as she gets up and leaves. You can hear the footsteps.
I stand and bow.
Yeah, you have the
And-
feeling that most of the other people who came before you were arrogant sods.
Most people are.
Sounds like elves.
Well, most of the
They were
elven protectors were arrogant sods. They were not nice people. That's how they got the job.
Again,
And
this
here's
sounds like elves.
and here's the big difference. Hi, junior diplomat. I can't afford to be arrogant.
Exactly.
I'm trained not to be arrogant unless it's necessary. When it's required, I can be as arrogant as hell. But yes, I am.
I'll
not,
give you an insight roll.
I am not the great hero who is going to be, who deserves all the stuff. Can I go on? No, that's not insight. That's perception. There. That goes to 21.
21. You do suspect she was a Medusa.
Ooh, that's why it's darkness.
No, this was a circle of light. She was invisible, so I couldn't see her.
Very smart.
Because if she
It is
dropped
on.
her invisibility,
Bitch.
dark or light, I'd have seen her.
Yep.
And there are stories of
Yeah.
ancient elves who were so beautiful that they were cursed.
Yeah, but
So that's where
yes.
Medusa's fit into this.
But yeah, as I said, as she leaves, I
And they were
will
cursed
bow
for their
and,
arrogance.
and thank her. Short form, because she's leaving. I'm not going to talk to nothingness.
And as you think of the lights tick go out and you hear a door open. With Lani pulling the door open on the other side.
I got it!
I got it. Holding up the coin.
Which is just about the time the tribesman's about 3/4 of the work his sword through the thatch
Yep.
to make it more hollow by hole.
And you can see a hole in the top with the tribesman peering through it.
Hi, thanks for saving me.
If you're going to go into houses of the evil guys,
Evil?
She wasn't evil. She was just
talking about the were tiger.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fair enough. This one, she wasn't evil. She was just incredibly dangerous. Wasn't evil at all. Much.
Humanity often gets that confused, though.
No.
We perceive things we don't understand as being dangerous, as being
Evil.
evil rather than just dangerous.
Yeah, but if she was evil, she would have. She would have stayed visible and forced me to keep my eyes closed.
Yeah.
And I won't say anything else about what was going on in there, and I'm going to leave that for these guys to think about.
Okay. So now you're outside with 7 dwarven packs.
I look at the packs. You do realise that if we look in those, they're going to have broken bits of stone people in them.
Oh, that sucks.
Looking through the hole in
Possibly.
the roof,
Yep.
what am I seeing inside the cottage?
Just a bit of smoke drifting about.
Is there actually a fireplace or something in the cottage in the tent?
You see nothing to find in there besides the well walking out.
It's a box with a roof.
So there's no furniture or anything like that apparently either?
None that you can see.
Strictly, it's not actually a cottage.
So,
It's a mock-up of a cottage.
oh yeah, no, it's hard. I was just wondering what the guys were saying.
Which does confuse the tribesmen a little.
Yeah,
So,
all the amenities of home. It's a non-portable tent rather than a house. But yes, I did hold up the coin.
Cool. Another coin?
That was a little intense.
So, no, it was in a house.
Oh, there was somebody there. I couldn't see her.
Intense.
Yes, thank you.
It's late, I'm tired.
Could have said that was a little incense.
Meditation time.
Oh, goodness. Anyway.
No wonder he saw visions.
As
Incense made from mushrooms. Whee!
I was going to say, as much as I really enjoy this cottage, very nice outside, I'm getting a feeling that we shouldn't overstay our welcome, and that we should probably start heading back
Elsewhere.
towards that other path that we saw.
Yes.
Is it still midday?
Still midday.
Yes.
Okay,
Not much time passed.
cool. So I guess if everybody's cool with it, we should head back
Yes, we should.
to
We
where our
should bog
campsite
off
was.
and recamp. Yes.
Out of character, I have to leave very soon because I have to fill up a philosophic band tomorrow.
It's all good. We could finish up here with you guys heading back to the clearing.
Yep.
And calling it a night there. So next session we can pick up where we left off. Because it is close to 10:30.
Yeah.
all good?
It's close enough to a reasonable
Thank you
finish.
very much.
It's all good. I was going to suggest that anyway because that way we finished on a positive note.
Yes, rather than what's going to happen next session.
Rather than
Rather than
rather than the pixies having an idea of how to throw Lua.
Okay, so thank you very much for joining. I will post up on Facebook for next session's game tomorrow. And did anyone want to confirm in advance that they'll make it in a fortnight?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
live here, so barring
So probably.
illness, yes.
It's okay. It's okay to cancel. It's just that if I don't get confirmations, then it makes it very hard to plan what's happening.
Yeah.
I will be coming from Bateman's Bay, so I will confirm with you the day of if I will be in person or online, but I will be attending.
All good. And I'm assuming that's the same with Jeremy.
I will be there. In other news, I will send you an email. I'll just like I prepared earlier this afternoon today. Thank you.
Considering my cup
The 18th of May,
Yes.
which is a Wednesday Pathfinder.
Found a,
I probably either won't be there or I will be late.
Sorry?
So,
found a pick I'm going to use.
All good. I'll
Oh,
make a
nice.
note on the day to follow up
That's
with
very
you.
nice.
Yes.
It's always good when
Okay,
you
so
can
I'm going to go
visualise.
to end credits.
Yes,
So thank
especially
you very
since
much.
this is
Have a good
actual
night, guys.
Character.
And
Thank you very
I
much.
will
that
see you
Christie's
next
using
game.
as a basis
Shall I do it? See you tomorrow night.
Final Fantasy 14
What do we
character.
cover?
Good night, you guys.
Good
That's
night.
That's a
Good
nice
night. Bye.
amalgam.
Yes. Although she